right, here we go. Shifters unite. Welcome back once again. This is Brendon, aka Skull Babylon, aka Skull the Wolf, Wolf Shield, Mystic Spider-Man, the man of many names. Welcoming you back once again for another educational, inspirational, community interactive broadcast that we do here through ParadigmShiftCentral.com, a real-world interactive game to be able to help assist with the shift in consciousness. So thank you so much, everyone, once again for being here, for joining. For those of you who are on YouTube, please feel free to drop those 1111s in the chat. Make sure that you guys can hear me loud and clear, and I'm getting good on the audio, so that's absolutely perfect. So we are here once again as community, as ceremony, to be able to take part in something very special, something very important, something bigger than any of us individually. And so what we are doing here, for those of you who may be new, we'll give you a brief introduction. What this topic is going to be about tonight is within the context of being a shifter. We're going to talk about what it means to be a shifter. So I'll explain to you a bit about what a shifter is. And a shifter, very simply put, is a person who is intentionally helping shift consciousness. I kind of did a post today on Instagram where I narrowed it down even a little bit more specific, where I said someone who uses creativity and compassion to help shift consciousness. So how that relates to this community that we are creating here, that we've been growing. The project began over 10 years ago. The Paradigm Shift Central project can be thought of in many ways. It's a few different things to many different people. It is a collective conscious community hub. It is a conscious media production company. And in this context, also the context of it being a real world interactive game, the way how we work together as a team, the way how we play this game, this ongoing real world game to help shift consciousness, is by creating conscious media, is by doing these broadcasts, is by interacting with our team Discord chat between broadcasts, is by leveling ourselves up, and also by creating the physical paradigm shift communities across the world. So my motivation behind creating this project was because I knew that it would make a difference, that I knew it was important. It wasn't kind of one of those things where it was like, oh yeah, you know, like this would be nice. It's more so one of those things of this needs to happen. This is something that is important. The synchronicities that will come out of this, the connections that will come out of this, the inspiration that will come out of this, bringing together a global team of shifters. And so speaking of a global team of shifters, of course, I am joined here once again by fellow shifters here in the Hangout, in the Google Hangout. So inviting all the fellow shifters, I'm just going to take a second here to be able to bring up your microphone. So go ahead, fellow shifters, make some noise, unmute your microphones if you got them muted, and send some love out there to all the other shifters tuned into this broadcast. So go ahead, make some noise, guys.
What's up, yo?
Love you guys.
Hello,
Namaste, fam. Keeping it shifty. Yeah. Sending that love. Awesome. All right. Thank you, team, once again, for being here, for being a part of this, for being, you know, sharing in this vision that what it is that we are creating here together. So for those of you who may be, again, new to this, welcome, because what we are doing here, this is something very important. It's very special. It's very powerful. And it's an invitation. Every time that we do this broadcast, not only are we documenting the story, not only are we moving the story forward every single week, every single day, every time we interact like this, but it is, as I said, an invitation for you to be involved. What makes a person a shifter? You do not need permission to be a shifter. In a sense, you are already given permission. You're given permission by the universe itself. A shifter is something that you can choose to be. It is a title that you can choose to align with simply by thinking like, oh, okay, yeah, that kind of sounds like me. That kind of sounds badass. That sounds like something I want to be a part of. So I'm going to give you guys just a bit of an explanation as to what being a shifter means to me. And then from there, we're going to begin passing the talking stick around, and we're going to get the other people within the circle here to share a bit about what being a shifter means to them as well. And this is a cool part, talking about the ways in which we are helping shift consciousness. So again, this can be based on our conscious media that we're creating, how we're creating videos for YouTube and Instagram. This can be about physical community events that we're making. This can be about everyday actions. This can be about doing free hugs, shiftivism as we call it. It can be about whatever whatever you feel called to do to be able to help shift consciousness. So within the last broadcast, we gave a bit of an overview in terms of the updates that are taking place. And if you want to go back and check that out, that's totally cool. But I'll just mention a couple things right off the bat. For those of you looking to get involved, I want to just be able to stress this very specifically because this is very important. If you are looking to be involved with this community and you have not joined the team Discord yet, join the team Discord. That is a key part of how you play this game. The Discord chat, it's a chat program, it's a chat app that's commonly used for video games, but we've been utilizing it for our community with a huge amount of success. And it's an amazing way for us to be able to connect, for us to be able to streamline our focus, for us to be able to collaborate, support on things, share our videos, share our goods and services. There are people who are selling their items through there, who are doing tarot readings and energy sessions in there. And it is also a place for us to be able to practice having these discussions, these voice held discussions between the broadcasts. And it's been really great because over the past several weeks, several months, but more so over the past, like recently, when we've really kind of been shifting through things together, there's been people hanging out in the team Discord chat on a regular basis. And so it's really great for me as a facilitator to know that people are using the space in the way that we envisioned it, that people are just hopping on their own accord, going into the team voice chat, connecting with people and having discussions about things that they don't normally get a chance to talk about. So I just wanted to be able to mention that real quick because, again, the link for that is in the YouTube info, tinyurl.com/paradigm shift chat. Make sure that you are synced up with that. Other things I'll just mention real quick, if you want to be able to support the project with monthly micro donations, which is a huge essential part of this, please feel free to check out the team Patreon, and you can click the button in the top right-hand corner if you're on YouTube to be able to link into the Patreon through there. And again, that's an asking monthly donation of $3 to $10. And with that, you get your shifter booster kit, and I'll explain a little bit more about the shift buttons because, again, in terms of being a shifter, the shift buttons are incredibly powerful tools that we provide to you within the context of this game to be able to help accelerate the shift in consciousness. So just again, as I just kind of package this into a nice little shifty package for you, being a shifter, my vision behind being a shifter, and this is, I talked about this a little bit last broadcast with the intention of talking about it more this broadcast. I talked about 4 key things, like 4 key pillars of being a shifter. One of them is the individual work, the personal quest, the self-mastery, striving for knowledge, striving to learn who we are. Noscite ipsum, know thyself. That is one part about being a shifter, because it all goes back to the idea that if you want to change the world, you have to change yourself. You have to be in a place where you feel that you are being able to show up with balance, with wholeness. And again, it's not to say that you're always expected to be balanced, but part of a shifter is the natural call to be able to question about reality, to seek the mysteries of the universe, and to, again, find out who we are, to find out what our gifts are, and then to find out ways in which we can share those gifts. And so that's one thing, working on the self. The second thing about being a shifter that is very key is the idea of conscious media creation. Now, again, different people are going to have different styles to this, but the conscious media creation is a huge part about being a shifter and a huge part about what the project is. Not only are we building a team of people and we're talking and everything like that, but the context of what we're doing is we're building a team of conscious media creators, because, again, thinking of Paradigm Shift Central as a conscious media production company, as I'm getting the website a little bit more updated, and you'll be seeing this over the next couple months, what we're doing is we're helping feature people's content, people who are creating inspirational YouTube videos, Instagram content, writing quest journals and conscious articles for the main website. We are helping feature that. We are helping be a platform for the collective voice of the community as we collectively document and share this story. And so as we document our own personal journey, collectively we are creating this bigger story of the shift in consciousness. We are archiving it from that perspective. So being a shifter, from my perspective on it, from what I want people to do, because, again, this is, you know, coming from my own experience, and this is like the origins of the project. When I was going to school for media production, as many of you are familiar with, you know, that was what motivated me, was the idea of, like, sweet, you know, I know how to make videos, I know how to get a message out there. Instead of just making, you know, ridiculous videos that are purely entertaining, I want to make ridiculous videos that are entertaining and are shifting consciousness, that are planting seeds, that are getting people thinking, that are giving them ideas that maybe they hadn't thought about, that are answering some questions for them, that are giving them inspiration and even giving them incentive, guidance, and motivation to take real world action themselves. So the conscious media creation is a very huge part. And again, you know, as we evolve this project, you'll see more of it. And a lot of people already in this project, they're already YouTubers. They're already like rocking it on the Instagram. And together as a team, we're going to keep building that. We're going to keep growing each other's Instagram so that every single person is reaching shifters, is reaching more people individually. And so there's a couple things I want to mention afterwards, but I'll just hit upon these other couple pillars and then we'll start passing the talking stick around. And then again, the other aspect of it is the real world action, the everyday action, stepping out your door with compassion and stepping out your door with the intention to be able to evoke synchronicity. Keep your eyes open for the little things that you can do to help shift consciousness, such as what we commonly encourage, the idea of doing free hugs, and such as the idea of using the shift buttons. And again, so the shift buttons, and again, I'll show it on screen because those of you who may be new, each of the shift buttons has consciousness shifting imagery on them, and they have the Paradigm Shift Central website on the rim. They are simple yet effective tools to be able to help hack the matrix with love. There's lots of different shift button designs, and I'll just show you a couple of the new ones actually. There's the free hugs one, which is not necessarily new, but it's still worth seeing. There's lots of other ones, again, like sacred geometry and everything like that. Each one is meant to spark a conversation. And some of the new ones I'll just show you are the ask me about shift buttons, which have a phrase on them. So you can see on this one, it says like, ask me about shifting consciousness. I know the text is going to be backwards for those of you on YouTube, but this one says, ask me about life beyond death. And this one says, ask me about meditation. So imagine you're like literally wearing a badge, a button that sparks the invitation for people to be able to interact with you, to be able to have the discussions that we don't normally get a chance to be able to talk about. And so taking those real world action, having that intention is so powerful. And so again, we'll go in more into the details and stuff as we go through this, but again, the free hugs tactics is so powerful. That is about being a portal. It is about being compassionate. It is about being a code that you inject into the matrix, that is being a pattern interrupt, that is turning heads, that is getting people's attention, that is creating meaningful interactions, that is helping lead by example. So very, very powerful stuff. The fourth pillar about being a shifter is the creation of physical conscious community events. So within the project, we have the paradigm shift communities, and as we move forward, we're constantly encouraging people to create physical paradigm shift communities where you are, because this can be tied in with all three of the other pillars. If you're at that stage where you're feeling that call to be like, yeah, I want to be able to bring people together, I want to facilitate events. And so the paradigm shift community events, they're about regular open-minded discussion and meditation circles. And so the idea is that you do them on a weekly basis, on a bi-monthly basis, however long, in a couple weeks, whatever makes sense for you. And then you invite people out to them, and you have them as just, they can be a specific topic. You can frame it in a way that works for you. There's a lot of different ways. You can make it just a meditation circle. You could have it specifically on the topic about, you know, like chakras. You could have it about dreaming, dream exploration. That's a great topic to get people interested in the door. You can start it as a club in your college. You can do it at a library. You can do it at a yoga studio. You can do it at a park. You can do it at a house. You can do it at a coffee shop. You can do it anywhere. But the idea is you start thinking about it, and then when you have that meetup and you have that community event, again, you can call it Paradigm Shift your location. So I'm with Paradigm Shift London, Ontario, Canada. You can call it Paradigm Shift, again, you know, like Paradigm Shift Florida, Paradigm Shift New York, Paradigm Shift Chicago. These have all existed, but we're kind of in the stage where we're restarting. We're getting like a new life put into the Paradigm Shift communities, because after like the whole internet had shifted and stuff like that, there was, and we talked about this last broadcast, there have been like over 50 paradigm shift communities on paper, meaning that there are over 50 paradigm shift Facebook pages. But since Facebook kind of died off and everything, a lot of our connection and communication with those other communities has been severed. So now we're kind of restarting, and that communication is happening primarily through the team Discord. So that is where the foundation is where we're starting off from. And so again, you can call it a paradigm shift community, but you don't have to. You could literally just have it as something that you give it another name, or again, just a very general concept, whatever makes sense for you. But then the idea idea is that you're getting the momentum of the team. You're working with the momentum of the team. And so as we evolve the project, one of the things that we're doing, we're actually restarting the team map. So we're recreating the team map. We're re-adding everyone's information to the team map so that we can get clear information on who everyone is, where they are, and where the new paradigm shift communities are. And honestly, like, this just, maybe this means something to you. Maybe this kind of shows you a bit about like what my devotion is like within this project, in the sense of, you know, the old team map, it had like 850 names and like 50 of the communities on there, and it was all there, and we still have that data. That data is still valuable. But again, I am not afraid to restart things, to do it for the purpose of like getting clear data, clear intention in the way that's best going to serve a team. Again, this isn't just about like getting numbers. This is about developing effective tactics as a team so that we can use the data in a way that's going to serve us most effectively. So once you look at the team map, which will be, you'll see it through the main website soon enough once I get the more updates completed and everything like that, but you'll be able to like go there, see people's names, and then that will link you into the team Discord chat based on their name, and you can use the team Discord to communicate. So it'll be like very, very, very effective to be able to coordinate on that level. So that's the core concept of being a shifter. Now let me just take it back a bit, because this is something where, being in the midst of this project, sometimes we don't even talk about this. We're just like, you're like, yeah, shifting consciousness, like, right? Like, what does that mean? What does that mean to shift consciousness? Because in many cases, so many of us are already waist deep in metaphysical, in the sense that we kind of forget that we are. But the core concept of being a shifter, from my feelings, from my heart, is about being a part of something that began long ago, something that can even be thought of as being beyond just Earth alone. And this it can kind of get trippy here, because you're just like, whoa, like, you know, like, what cosmic energy are we riding here? What archetype are we tapping into here? And so what you'll hear within this project about being a shifter, there's other terms that we have for it. The parallel terms to being a shifter that we commonly use are other terms such as light guardian, which is very similar to a Jedi, which is basically like, it's all pretty much the same thing, but it's kind of our variation on it. So more so, the light guardian can be thought of as the gray Jedi. So obviously if people were just like, oh, we're building a team of Jedi, then some people would be like, whoa, 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 hold on a second. Weren't the Jedi like absolutists and kind of, you know, like against the dark? Shouldn't we be embracing the shadow? Shouldn't that be the true path of like finding the balance? And absolutely, that's where the light guardian comes in. The light guardian, again, is about understanding that the light is the shadow in the dark. It's not just like one side. I think of the light as the circle around the yin yang. It's the light and the shadow. Both are part of a bigger whole. So being a light guardian is something that I want you to be able to invite into your heart. You can call yourself a shifter. You can call yourself a light guardian. It's the same thing. It's, you know, many different words for the same archetype. But this archetype, you could think of this as literally being beyond this planet. Different planets have gone through their own shifts in consciousness. There have been minds that have helped move things forward, great inventors, great social movements, great leaders. And so here on Earth, with where we are now, again, it's at the point where this isn't just of like, oh yeah, it would be nice if we had a global team of shifters. It is necessary that we have a global team of shifters. And now don't get me wrong, there are people who are out there shifting consciousness who are not connected to this project, who are doing things intuitively their own way, and that is beautiful. Here as a community, we have the opportunity to be able to coordinate and to collectively focus our efforts in some very exciting ways, working together tactically. And so being a shifter is about being able to carry that intention of understanding that the shift in consciousness is about helping people step into their own empowerment. It is about waking people up within the dream. It is about pulling back the veil. It is about seeing through the illusions casted on us by society based on what we've been taught, based on what has been put in front of us. So many eons in that sense. It is about encouraging people to take that trip down the rabbit hole. Being a shifter isn't so much about telling people what to think. It's about encouraging them to think for themselves. And that's a very important thing within this project. And you'll get that from me a lot, is that, you know, from my place within this project, like, yes, I am the facilitator. Yes, I am the captain. Yet I am a captain amongst many captains, leaders amongst many leaders. And that is the role of a good shifter, is someone who helps other people ignite the leader within themselves, the superhero within themselves. So again, kind of going back to the different terms for this, you know, shifter is one, light guardian is one. Some other terms that I use, social alchemist is a really exciting one. Another one that we commonly use, or variations of it, would be like metaphysical superhero, cosmic badass. These type of phrases really help you feel the energy of what it is that we're creating here. Because again, for those of you who are familiar, you know, I do the mystic Spider-Man thing, which is me dressing up as my own variation of Spider-Man. Welcome to the Spider-Verse. There's more than one of us. I'm just, you know, I'm the one on YouTube who actually exists in this reality. Crazy, right? But, you know, that idea is again, it's like, yeah, I'm dressed up as a superhero to be able to get people's attention, to be able to be a beacon of love, to be able to help remind people to be the superhero they already are, to remind them that they don't need a mask or a cape, that reminds them that the true power is the power of the heart. And so again, a shifter is being able to have the mindset of understanding what your potential already is within this reality, understanding that this reality is basically a shared dream. And if that's what you see it as, then the parallel to that is understanding that you two are the dreamer, and like a lucid dream, you are creating this dream. Your intentions create. So a big part of this is about being a shifter, is understanding your power to create your reality. Call it law of attraction, call it what you want. But again, it's the idea of thinking about, yeah, I'm going to create a paradigm shift community, and it will happen because I have that intention, and I know that the universe has my back, and me carrying that energy is going to bring people together. And then I have to kind of get tactical with it, try some proper techniques, work through it, figure out what works, and remain consistent, and it will happen. Same thing when you go out there and do free hugs. You go out there and do free hugs, you know it's going to make a difference. It's not like, oh, gee, I hope this works. It's, you know, it will work. Even if it's just one person who sees you and it's just like, wow, that crazy person is out there on the street corner doing free hugs. Suddenly my hope for humanity is returned, right? So the shifter in many ways will mean many different things to many different people. But one thing that I've heard commonly, and I get this through, you know, individual messages and through Instagram and things like that, people say that, you know, as shifters, we give them hope. We show that there are those of us who are willing to stand up for what we believe in, who are taking action to be ambassadors of love, to be able to help carry the shift in consciousness, to be able to use our time and our skills to be able to help inspire other people, to be able to provide that value, to be able to provide that compassion. So it's a very, very powerful idea. So again, I'll just, last thing, and then we'll start passing the talk and stick around, because again, part of what we're doing here is building a team. And so this is about team bonding. This is about understanding what each of us brings to this round table. And so, and even again, going back to the archetypes, again, shifter, light guardian, metaphysical badass, the idea of this being a round table, even inviting you to kind of bring in the archetype of the knights of the round table. And thinking about that from the place of nobility, thinking about that from the idea that, you know, we are all equals here at this table. We all show up with intention. We all show up with purpose and respect for each other, for ourselves, and for the team, and for the vision, for the shared vision. And so the vision behind this is again, it's about being able to help make a difference where we can. Thinking globally, acting locally, cleaning our own doorstep is basically the idea. You know, the Chinese have that metaphor. If everyone cleaned their own doorstep, the whole world would be clean. The whole world would be at peace, kind of thing. And so again, the vision behind this is about building our skill sets as individuals, as artists, as heartists, to be able to get better at creating conscious media so that we can influence other people, so that we can build our own individual networks, so that we can reach people, so that the branches spread even farther. It's about taking that real world action, getting out there, doing free hugs, connecting with people, and then again, ideally, this is like the prime elements of a shifter is when you have that physical community, because when you have that physical community, suddenly the free hugs become more powerful. Because if you're doing free hugs, you can literally say to them, hey, we have a local meetup group, here's information about it, come check it out. Or again, you can tell them go right to the main website, join the Discord, and then they can find the information through there as well. But being able to invite people into the physical community of it, so empowering, so powerful. And again, it's about knowing that there are other people out there who would love to be a part of this community, who haven't found it yet because you haven't connected to them yet, because your branches haven't reached them yet you already are connected to them. So it's about, again, you know, knowing that there's, and I always kind of think about this, knowing that there's like, you think about where you were back in the day, where maybe you didn't have other people to talk to, and you're just like, oh, I wish I had a team to talk to. I wish I had other people to talk to about this. There are still people out there. There are still people who are searching for their soul tribe. You will be that bridge. You will be that ambassador to be able to help connect them, be it to the local paradigm shift community that you're creating, the digital paradigm shift aspects that we have together. And so the other key thing, and I'll just say this and then we'll get right into it. There's always more to talk about. But again, the idea of being a bridge is a very powerful idea within the context of this project. Being a bridge between higher conscious ideas and mainstream culture. You know, how do we get people thinking about multidimensional reality, lucid dreaming, the power of the heart? How do we get them to shift from fear to love? How do we get them to look further down the rabbit hole, to understand that there is more, to think for themselves, to claim their own sovereignty in that sense, you know? So being a shifter is so many things. It's going to be unique to individual people. And again, I am honored to be able to have such a powerful team that is continuing to grow here, and knowing that each of us who is here right now, we are here because we share a vision, because we align with this idea of helping shift consciousness. And you know, you can say it's my idea, but it's our idea. It is consciousness's idea. Again, I'm just like the other part of you that's been doing all the behind the scenes tech work to be able to create this kingdom for us to be able to come together. And I'll just say this because this is really important. And again, I know I'm babbling on here, but it's all I'm saying it with intention. The other elements of the paradigm shift, and we talked about this last broadcast, but I'll just say real quick because it brings it full circle, is thinking of what we are building as a community as building a kingdom. And so when you come into the virtual online space, you can think of it as a kingdom. You can think of it as a metaphysical spaceship is another way we thought about it. But more so than that, you can think of it as home. And the word home has a very powerful resonance, has a very powerful frequency. So that is what is happening with people who are connecting to this project. And we're seeing this through the Discord. It is changing people's lives. They're creating connections with other people through the team, and they're in being inspired. It's having a cascade effect. It's rippling, and it's literally changing lives. And it's making them change the way they show up in the world. And as a team, we are there to support each other. We are helping keep each other accountable. We are sharing our art. We are sharing our vision. And it's so powerful because like maybe, you know, like I've thought very tactically about like how I wanted to do this in terms of, you know, how I wanted to be able to put myself out there in terms of shifting consciousness and creating my image through social media and things like that. And, you know, I just want you guys to be able to like understand this, because like this isn't so much like, hey, like I'm not trying to brag when I say this, but I'm just trying to like put things into perspective about how important this is for me. If I wanted to, I could have spent the last 5 years solely focusing on just building my own Instagram and my own content. And I could probably be at like well over like 200,000 subscribers or 300,000 subscribers. And the only reason I say this is because I know there's other people who are already there and they're doing things that I can do, doing similar things that I can do. But instead, I decided that rather than just blasting off ahead and being like, hey, look at me, I'm totally viral now, I wanted to be able to focus on creating the foundation for a team that can build a ship so that we can all go there together, so that we can move there through space together. I didn't want to leave anybody behind. And now as we are creating this foundation, now that as the ship has become even more powerful, now we'll start going viral together, and that will happen. Like as I create the foundation for this, I'll be able to shift my focus back into creating original conscious media content, and I'll help lead by example in that way. And you'll see that, you'll see like more of this project starting to reach more people. And it's all about timing, right? It's all about timing. Like the information gets out there to the world when the time is right. So we got a lot of awesome content as a community, and a big part of this is being able to help just, you know, allow other people to be in a place where they can practice creating, where they can share with an audience who is going to understand and respect what they're doing, who can support each other. And together we are building our networks, building our Instagram, building our YouTubes, building our brands in that sense. And we are sharing our stories. We are sharing, and again, we are sharing our struggles. Like this is a really important thing too, and we're really seeing this within the Discord. You know, people come into the Discord, and it's common for people, and huge shout out to everyone on the team, because I'm really proud of what you guys are doing, all of you, in terms of checking in with each other. You know, if someone comes into the voice chat, like literally hearing someone else just be like, hey, you know, so and so, like, how was your day? Like literally just asking someone how their day was, but doing it as a family, doing it as a team member. That's such a powerful idea, because again, to be a shifter does not mean that you have to be this like you already are perfect. I should say that. But again, it doesn't mean, you know, we are all fractured divine. We have all been wounded. We all have battle scars, quite frankly. And that is something to be honored, right? Like that is like the majority of us, you know, we're into that point in our life where, you know, we're like 25, 35, within that age bracket. But obviously like there's more, like, believe me, there's more. But there's like, I'm just saying, like, as you kind of get to the point where you're past 25 and moving through there, yeah, there's a lot of scars that you're holding on to at that point. There's a lot you've gone through and stuff, but that doesn't stop you from being a shifter. If anything, it empowers you to be more of a shifter, because you have more insight, you have more value, you have more experience, you've gone through the dark nights of the soul, and you can help lead by example in that way. So it's like, you know, shedding that naivety, yet continuing to really embody who it is that we are, and becoming more powerful and riding the collective momentum as a team. So again, as we get ready to pass the talking stick around, the reason for this broadcast, the reason why I specifically wanted to do this broadcast right now, is because every time that we do a broadcast, every week that we create content, we are creating a story and we are moving the story forward. And in order to be able to prepare for what's coming next for the project, I wanted to be able to create this broadcast so that everyone here who's listening in can dial in and make sure that we're all on that same cosmic page, so that we can all like sink into this vibration of what being a shifter means to us. And so that is like, again, just some like super powerful idea. Like, oh man, I'm really, again, just excited and honored to be able to have everyone here, because again, this is the game. It's shifting consciousness. It's playing, it's creating together. And yeah, it's just an incredibly important thing that we are doing, an incredibly beautiful thing together as well. So with that said, again, just huge shout out to everyone in the chats. If you guys are vibing with what I'm saying in the YouTube chats, just feel free to drop some 1111s there. And again, please feel free to share this broadcast, let other people know that Paradigm Shift exists and all that good stuff. And let's start passing the talking stick around. And I'm looking forward to just being able to give you guys the opportunity to share with an audience a bit about what being a shifter means to you, and the different ways in which you help shift consciousness, either in the past, currently, just examples, with the intention being that you're sharing your story and you're also helping inspire. You're showing examples so that other people can hear that and be like, oh, I could do that. Or like, oh, that's really cool. Maybe I want to do that. Or like, oh, I already do that, or something like that, right? So awesome. Seeing lots of 11s in there. So again, thank you again. And for those of you looking to join the Discord, the link is in the YouTube info. So just join there. You have my permission to be able to join. So awesome. Again, just huge love. We're creating awesome waves here. This is very powerful. So all right, give me, actually, I want to be able to check in. I'm going to pick someone here, just for the sake of picking someone. I want to be able to actually pick Jocelyn first. And Jocelyn, if you're cool with sharing first, maybe you can just unmute your microphone, or I'll just pull your microphone up if that's okay with you. If not, it's okay passing, or I apologize for putting you on the spot, but I just would love to be able to have you talk first for a bit if you're okay with that. Jocelyn, go ahead and unmute. Yeah, okay. Let me just pull up your microphone here. Okay, Jocelyn, you can hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you.
Perfect. Sweet. Okay, Jocelyn, so thank you again so much for being here. Jocelyn is a YouTube creator as well. Again, a lot of us are YouTube creators. And yeah, Jocelyn, I'll pass the talking stick over to you. So again, what does being a shifter mean to you? Like intellectually and even like emotionally, you know? So, and then you can talk a little bit about what you've been doing to help shift consciousness. So does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks so
Perfect.
much.
All right.
Yeah, I was like laying on the ground and I was like, oh crap,
Like,
let me jump up.
cool. Well, thank you though. Go ahead.
Yeah, so being a shifter to me, it's been such a growth process. And I think for a really long time, like I've kind of shared before, I was more like the lone wolf kind of type. Like I was really like about doing everything by myself, especially being an entrepreneur. And, you know, I can see now how wrong, for lack of a better word, I was doing things. And the thing that I've really seen the most is coming out and caring about people, like not just for the reason of getting things. It's literally because the feeling I get making a difference in people's lives, like creating relationships and connections and giving to people, giving without any expectations, has been so huge to me. And you know, recently I had the opportunity to go to Mexico, and I remember specifically I was at one of the grocery stores, and I tipped one of the there was this really old woman that was checking my bags, like filling up my stuff for me. And you know, I gave her a lot of money, and I remember her looking at me like that was the first time she had really been seen, you know, like really someone cared about her. And it really affected me. And I feel like that was one of the first times that I really wanted to start giving to people, like letting them know that they're seen, that they're valuable, that they have a meaning and a purpose in this society. Everyone does. Like all of us do. We all have a story, and we all have so much in common, more than we realize. I think that's one of the biggest things to understand. And so one of the things that, you know, I'm doing to be a shifter or really make a difference in society or raise consciousness is, like I said, like you mentioned, I have my YouTube channel where I'm putting out content for people to really understand their upbringing. You know, I kind of combine a bunch of different things like quantum physics and biology and psychology combined with like spirituality and law of attraction. So hopefully I can bridge that gap between science and spirituality so people can feel safe about going along a spiritual path. You know, it's a little bit more like, oh, kind of scapegoated from society. So I'm really hoping that people feel more comfortable to come out and, you know, be more spiritual in society. So yeah, that's kind of the difference that I'm contributing to making in the world.
My microphone there. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jocelyn. And do you want to just plug your YouTube channel real quick? People can check it out in the Discord under the team YouTube feed, but go ahead and just tell them what your YouTube channel is so they could search it.
Yeah, it's you can just look it up, Jocelyn Blackwell. It's Josslyn. So you can just look it up that way. I'm trying to think. You can also find me on Instagram, and I've got the link there. And it's again Jocelyn Blackwell. So you can find me on either places, and I've got similar content on both. So you can find me either places.
Awesome. Sweet. Well, Jocelyn, thank you again, and again, you know, just thank you for rocking the content. I'm looking forward to being able to work as a team, like once we kind of get into the position where we're able to, of really just like spending time focusing on, you know, how we're branding ourselves, how we're building our content, how we're formatting our posts, how we're reaching people, really focusing on the social media tactics, because I think your content is really important, and I know that there's a wider audience out there who would really benefit from being able to receive the wisdom that you have to share. So thank you for sharing some of it within this broadcast. So, and And
Thank
also,
you.
within our Discord hangout chats, I know there's been like so much happening in the Discord chat that is like not recorded, right? But it's like
Yeah.
it's good. It's in the moment. So yeah, but thank you just for being present and on the team. I know you're greatly appreciated by many. So
Awesome. Thank you so much.
awesome. Thank you, Jocelyn. Sweet. All right, so we'll keep passing the talking stick around, and I feel like there might have been something I was going to mention, but it's okay. I'd rather just get more people ready with the talking stick. So if somebody wants to volunteer to go next, either just unmute yourself right now to be able to volunteer to go next. And okay, so Yuga, I'll pass it over to you. Had a feeling you were gonna go next anyways. So Yuga, let me just pull up your microphone. And again, Yuga, thank you so much for being involved with the project. You've been involved with Paradigm Shift for quite a few years now, at least a few years.
Just about 1 year now.
About 1 year, yeah, give or take. So time flies. So passing the talking stick over to you, brother. Thank you so much for being here. And again, what does being a shifter mean to you, and some of the ways that you're helping shift consciousness? Go ahead.
Paradise Shift Central has been a huge help for me. One thing I'll always preach is I've checked out a lot of different communities, and there's always been a lot of dogma attached to the main core statement message. And with Brendon and just the shifters in general, it's been a very open-minded, very dogma-free, come here, let's just join and work on something together energy. And it's been very productive as far as I've seen. And as far as being a shifter for myself, I'll speak on that on 2 terms: being a shifter outside of the community and being a shifter in the community. I've always been a shifter, like Brendon said, and I think that's always the greatest thing to make anything relatable. But being a shifter inside the community has really given me the outlet to have these conscious conversations. And I've pretty much detached from all my social media, and Discord is pretty much my Facebook now. The conversations I have throughout the entire day, there's definitely a network going on. So highly recommend getting on Discord. There's a lot of momentum. Let's keep it going. I've been working with crystal healing, DNA activation, massage therapy, things along the lines of natural body healing for the last 5 years. And very recently, over the summer, I got introduced into radionics, and just with my work as a dragon shaman and a crystal healer, it's really helped take me to the next level. They've been really making a lot of content lately, so having more to focus on and do, not research, but to actually make my work into something practical that people can understand and bridge that gap, that everything we believe to everything we can do. Then the connections I've been making very recently, I was able to connect with a shifter here locally where I'm at. We met up, we were working on some of the stuff I've done together, and we're hoping to get more people joined in and get some more energy work going on. Basically, just radionics is a nice way of just saying organite, and having more people in my valley that can do the work that I'm doing and I can bounce off theirs energetically is amazing. The connections I've had on the Discord channel itself, a lot of stuff has been going in my favor. Been getting more involved into the podcast or the broadcast. I started doing these about a year ago, and I've been trying to do them for as long as I can and as consistent. And it's really given me the opportunity and the outlet and the idea to start getting involved into other different channels and communities. And I've really been trying to do that. I've been hosted on a channel called Beyond the Veil 2 times now with astounding feedback. I've gotten over 40 subscribers from just my last call, and I'm trying to get some more shifters here. But I think I'll just cap it off of there, because just everything that everyone else has said. Jocelyn, I've been really vibing with her. Really glad that she spoke, because almost everything that she'd been talking about is the same things that I've been in alignment with. So, Dragonborn out.
Awesome. Thank you, Dragonborn. And yeah, man, I was digging that because I saw you post it, and I only checked it out briefly, but I know that, yeah, you managed to get onto the broadcast for Lifting the Veil, which is another well-known YouTube channel, and they do live broadcasts there. Similar genre of what we do as well.
Yeah.
And again, you know, like that idea is a powerful act of what you can think of as, you know, shiftivism, which again, the shiftivism, the term shiftivism, we didn't mention it yet in this broadcast, but the term shiftivism can be thought as the word to be able to describe the action part of being able to do the things that help shift consciousness. So a shifter involves themselves in acts of shiftivism, commonly referred as free hugs as shiftivism, conscious sign holding. But again, like shiftivism can have a broad term. So intentionally, like, putting yourself into another broadcast to be able to help explain more conscious ideas, or even network with people or get those ideas out there, like that can be thought of as shiftivism as well, dude. But yeah, I appreciate you doing that, man. And I know you even like had given you had mentioned paradigm shift, like even when you were on there. I think you had given it some shout out.
The first time I was on there, I specifically mentioned the broadcast. They linked everyone directly to the website.
That's right. Yeah, they brought the website up on screen for a bit and stuff like that. So yeah, that was cool. And that will be like, there's so many opportunities in terms of the social media tactics that we'll be able to explore reaching out with. And again, that will be, a lot of fun to have there. But yeah, it's good that you've already kind of got your foot in the door, because who knows, there could be some more collaborative opportunities there, which will again just help spread more of the message and stuff like that. So, but yeah.
So really quickly with Beyond the Veil, they're involved with a channel or a community called Truth Seeker Frequency Radio, or something like that.
Truth Frequency Radio.
There's a ton of different.
Or something. Yeah, go ahead.
There's a ton of different YouTube channels, all with the same paradigm shift mission of just getting information and getting people aware and awake of what's really going on. And so I'm trying to get into another show called the Kev Baker Show.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, so
cool, awesome, man. Yeah, that will be stuff we can talk about more and everything like that. Yeah, just more ways of branching out and stuff. So cool. All right, thank you again, man. Much appreciated, and thank you for being here. So much love. Sweet. So again, just one of the things that I was gonna just mention real quick that I think and you kind of alluded to this, and I really think it's what I feel makes paradigm shifts stand out a little bit, is the idea that so much of what we do as a community is about the invitation for participation. It is about the call to action, and so as a facilitator for this project, it's less about, hey, watch my stuff. It's more so watch my stuff with an important message that's calling you into action, that's calling you to step out your front door with intention, that's calling you to create a community or do free hugs or create conscious media or get involved in everything like that. And I feel that's really powerful. And again, as Yuka kind of said, what I feel makes it unique is that there's never this idea that, oh, this is a project where you have to believe what Brendon believes in order to be able to be a part of it, and it's about that kind of concept. But again, it's encouraging that everybody's bringing their own unique perspective to the table, and understanding that there will be things that we'll have different perspectives on, and maybe disagreements on, but we'll be able to have those conversations with respect. And again, one of the core parts of this concept of this project is simply about being able to practice having the conversations, and that is what we are doing here in this broadcast. We are practicing sharing our voice. We are practicing getting in front of a camera or getting in front of people, and practicing sharing what it is that we have to share, practicing talking about the metaphysical aspects of this reality. And just being able to practice talking about those things is such a powerful way just to be able to help bring in more consciousness, because we need to talk about it. We need to talk about things, such as like multidimensional reality and lucid dreaming, and just like the power of the heart and all of those ideas, and so much more again. But just having that space to be able to talk about it is such a powerful thing. So let's keep talking about it. And yeah, again, just I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces also in the YouTube chat, so shout out to you guys in the YouTube chat. If you're watching this on Facebook, be sure to follow up on YouTube. The Facebook feed could crash at any second, just that's the way it is. So be sure to jump over to YouTube, make sure that you don't get left behind there. So I'm gonna pass the talking stick around to the next person. So I'll just invite if someone wants to unmute themselves next, please feel free to unmute themselves as a way to be able to, or even just like wiggle your fingers if you're on camera. Okay, cool. Shakti, I had a feeling you were gonna go next too. Honestly, I'm not like trying to, like, it's not like it's like, oh wow, I was totally going to guess that, and I'm like reverse engineering my psychic guesses. Like, no, I don't know, I kind of did. Okay, Shakti, let me just bring up your microphone here. Sorry, I just have to take a second to be able to, oh, there's your microphone. Okay, cool. All right, Shakti, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sweet, awesome. Okay,
What's
so
up?
sup, having
Namaste.
fun. Namaste. Namaste, awesome. So Shakti, just she'll be able to tell you more. Shakti recently connected with the Paradigm Shift community, and she came across one of our posts, and she was involved with last broadcast. She's been hanging out in the Discord chat. She's been doing a lot of things on her end. And Shakti, thank you so much once again for being here. So we'll pass the talking stick over to you. And again, what does being a shifter mean to you? And tell us a little bit about the ways you've been helping shift consciousness. Go right ahead.
Sure. So thank you. The things that I think would define a shifter from my perspective is, I think having a that is shared, like synchronistically around you. So like being able to have a grand vision, and also being able to sit into the future. So being able to manifest the vision into the 3D. I think that is a really powerful skill, that you have to, I don't like to really use the word master, but you kind of have to master a lot of things to get there. And I think that shifters are masterful, whether it be in their craft or life, or I mean, so many different ways to describe that. But I think that's for me what a shifter would be. How am I kind of presenting that or actualizing that in my realm is, man, just I think just connecting with people, you know, taking a lot of leaps of faith, and then like in the tangible world, kind of creating what you guys are creating here. Like Brendon said, I'm new to this group, but I'm also just like new to this space as well. So it's kind of like my entryway into this space, that I have not been in before. I have not navigated myself to this space before. So I took note about that, because it resonated with the stuff that all the dimensions that I traveled through to get here. So I'll just share like how am I working to shift consciousness in my local area: education, community building, and sustainability. So it's gathering those people together, all of those people, you know, like the moms, the kids, us, you know, those old school kind of people who've been doing this for a while. Get that community together, because it has to be collaborative and it cannot be about competition. So that's kind of like, I just go around my area just preaching this to anybody who wants to meet. And then in more tangible, I've taken on the role of like entrepreneur. So I used to be a teacher and I quit the career and moved into this. And because I felt so strongly about building up the ability to turn this into, because that's part of the game that you have to acknowledge, that we don't like to acknowledge that much as light workers, or in the past that's been a common issue. So I'm helping to turn that story around here by kind of harnessing different ways to like manage cash flow and stuff like that. So that's how I see it. And a lot of resonant conversations going on in here. So I'm just glad to get on the conversation. Thank you. Namaste.
Awesome. Thank you, Shakti.
And I teach yoga. I'm a yoga teacher.
Oh yeah, of course. That's a big deal too. Yeah.
That's what it comes down. Long story short, I'm a yoga activist.
That's beautiful then. That's good. And you also have your Instagram account, and you're putting out conscious content through there as well. And that's another way.
Yeah, I just started doing that. I'm also an artist and I'm a musician as well. So I do it through music, through art, and like I teach. So I've got like this book over here. So I just kind of like, I teach the philosophy of yoga.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Chakras.
Yeah. And you mentioned something very important there, which again, just it was wrapped up in the beginning, but it wasn't said explicitly. But the idea of spiritual entrepreneurship, which is such a powerful thing, and absolutely, like, as this project evolves, like that is a vision that I want to be able to help see into fruition. It's the idea that people within the community are themselves entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs. And I think like that's kind of one of the best ways in which we can continue to be of service to the planet and to community, is to develop that element of self-sustainability, and also the freedom that comes with an entrepreneur. You know, the idea of maybe being able to travel more, or just being able to, you know, live our passion. Like that in itself is so powerful, because like if you're an entrepreneur, you know, the trick to being an entrepreneur is to understand what you have to offer that is of value, and then being able to manage the ways in which you can provide it as a way to be able to receive reciprocated income and everything like that. And so when you're at that place where you're doing what you're passionate about, like that's so powerful. That's so powerful. And I feel that is, you know, if all of us were to just think like, okay, you know, what would I want to do with my life? Oh, I would want to do something that I'm passionate about and make a living off of it. Essentially, you're just explaining that you want to be an entrepreneur. And that's the beauty of where we are right now, is that all of us have that potential. All of us can be an entrepreneur. So as the project evolves, absolutely, that is going to be a huge part of the overall intention for the community, is to help support each other as entrepreneurs, as conscious entrepreneurs. So I'm excited to be able to see more and more of us continue to evolve into that aspect of ourselves. So, but yeah, Shakti, was there anything else you might want to say on related to conscious entrepreneurship?
If anybody's trying to like check out what I'm doing, just look up Create Kuan Yin.
Create. And how do you spell that? The second part.
Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin. It's like the goddess. Quanyin.
Awesome, sweet. And you're on the Discord as Shakti. Shakti something.
Go by many names.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you again for being here. And remind me again, how did you first come across Paradigm Shift? Like, it wasn't that long ago. You saw something somewhere?
Yeah, it was on the 1129 portal of 11.
Yeah, okay, it was
and you guys put out a really fantastic guided meditation.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, it's on like my top it's in my list of like top guided meditations of all time.
That is an awesome honor to be able to hold. So thank you. And again, like the idea that, you know, when we do these broadcasts, every broadcast that we do is an invitation back to home, back to the center of the community, the central. So yeah, I'm glad that synchronistically I was able to connect with you, and now we're connected here as a team. So Shakti, thank you again.
Yeah, man.
Awesome. Yeah.
Thanks.
All right, so we'll keep moving around, and again, for anybody in here, you know, you guys are welcome to keep hanging out and in the hangout chat if you want to like come and go. That's totally cool. We're just going to keep passing, talking, stick around, and then by the later end of the conversation, we'll just kind of open it up into a bit of free flow. But again, after the discussion, if you're looking for that like total free flow style discussion, know that that's available in the Discord, and there will probably be some of us joining the Discord afterwards as well for that. So, yeah, again, you know, just within the concept of being a shifter, you know, this is so obvious, but I feel it just needs to be said. You know, the project is literally called Paradigm Shift Central. Being a shifter relates to the idea of shifting paradigms is the simple way you can think of it. And it's funny because some people you'll talk to them and they're not even familiar with what the word paradigm is, which is I think interesting and nothing to look down upon. I think it's just like we're familiar with it, but some people are just like, what's a paradigm? Like what? But again, you know, if you were to and I'm telling you this so that you can explain it to somebody else if need be. Being a shifter can also be thought of as shifting paradigms. And when you're shifting paradigms, basically you are changing the way you see things. And so that is a big part of the story, because when we change the way we see things, we change the way we see ourselves within that story. So whereas before we might kind of be in this place where it's like, oh, the government's trying to control us and we're being oppressed and we have no freedom and there's fluoride in our water and everything's going to poop and stuff like that. But if you change the way you look at it, it's like, oh, wow, like all of these challenges are calling us into our empowerment, and all of this is creating an opportunity to be able to connect and inspire and help create the world we want to see, you know? So changing the paradigm, one of the big shifts within shifting the paradigm is, and this is kind of a thing that happens gradually for people, is the idea of shifting into the awareness of what it means to be a multidimensional being. And I just want to reflect back here, because it is so beautiful to be where we are now, literally almost in 2020. It's crazy to think that we're already here, because I can think back to like when I was starting this project back in like, you know, like 2009, 2010-ish. Back then, the consciousness of the globe was in a different place. Like, yeah, there were people who were into this type of stuff, but it wasn't en masse. It was kind of like this subculture type thing. But now we can all see it. We can all observe it based on our Instagram feeds and just kind of like being involved here as a community. And you can see where now, given the time that has taken place, so many of us have shifted through this whole process of understanding what it means to be a multidimensional being, and then using that as a platform to be able to step into our action, to be able to step into our embodiment. So it's really crazy, because like, you know, we probably could almost imagine this like back in like before 2012 and even 2012. It's like, imagine a culture where everyone knew that they were a multidimensional being, where everyone knew that they had the spiritual potential to be dreamers within this awakened dream. Could you imagine what that would be like? We're here. We have arrived, right? Everybody here within this community is in that place where we're just like, yes, like I'm feeling this. I am feeling the idea that, you know, I am more than my physical body, that there is a bigger story here, that there is a bigger calling, that there is a destiny that is beckoning me into something greater, you know? So it is a very, very powerful thing to just reflect on, of where we are at as a collective, as a team, and just like knowing that yields like so much for potential for what we can create. And again, kind of understanding that being the bridge is the idea that there are so many other people who haven't woken up to that multidimensional reality yet. And so our job is to gently plant seeds, to gently point them towards doors, to gently be a mirror for us to be themselves. A good shifter will be someone who is patient, someone who is tactical, and someone who is creative. You know, you shouldn't have to just like go up to someone and just be like, hey man, like you should do 5 grams of mushrooms or else you don't know nothing, or something like that, right? It's understanding that every person has their own path, but you can be that person that kind of just gently kind of, again, offers them, you know, you can say offers them the red pill, so to speak, but you can just foster their own curiousness. Because I think this is what you will find as a shifter. You will find that any person that you are talking to has the curiosity, has the spark within them. And this is a very powerful idea. The idea that, you know, every single person has that potential to go through this divine remembrance process, to wake up from this amnesia. So again, our role as shifters is to know that every single person that we show up to is like a different scenario, is going to have their different perspective. And so we're going to be like, oh, okay, this person maybe is really interested in talking about dreams, so I'm going to talk to them about dreams. This person maybe is really interested in crystals, I'm going to talk to them about crystals. This person's maybe interested in veganism, I'm going to talk to them about veganism. And you kind of invite them to explore what they're already interested in, and then from there they start connecting the dots. It starts opening them up. So a good shifter will be someone who, again, is encouraging people to think for themselves, to ask questions, and to encourage them in the idea of knowing that they are not alone, and to be that person where, again, this is a really cool thing, because a lot of you would have noticed this, where back in the day you might have been that weird friend in your friend group who was already into all this trippy metaphysical stuff and nobody else was. And then, you know, flash forward like 5 years later, and suddenly some of those friends are just like, hey, like, you know how you were like used to be always talking about like, you know, paranormal metaphysical stuff? Like I had this really crazy out of body experience. Like, can I talk to you about it? And suddenly you become that space holder. And again, that idea is a very powerful idea. As a shifter, you know, you do that. You hold space for people to be able to have these conversations. And when they have those conversations, they hear themselves and it starts clicking. They start waking up and it's like, oh wow, okay, this is cool. There's something more here. The life becomes brighter. The patterns emerge. What was hidden in plain sight begins to reveal itself. The sacred geometry is felt with each breath, you know? So again, this is all just very powerful ideas of what and how the shifter helps change things through the one-to-one conversations, through the art that we create, through the Facebook and the Instagram and the YouTube videos that we're putting out there, just by inviting other people to know that they are not alone and that they can ask these questions, that they can look deeper down the rabbit hole. And it all points back to self-empowerment. So very cool stuff. All right. And then again, self-empowerment with action, right? So being a part of that bigger story. And the idea, then like that's a powerful thing too, right? When it's not just you, it's doing something that's bigger than all of us, and it's for the generations to come as well. We're creating the foundations. We are the 100th monkey in that sense. So as we shift the paradigms now, you know, they're going to be the future where the kids are going to be born into that world where it's like, you know, compassion is the norm, right? So that is a very powerful thing. And again, it doesn't even have to be, being a shifter doesn't even have to be always metaphysical. Being a shifter can literally just be very grounded in the idea of compassion. And that's where the idea of, again, of just like why the free hugs is important. The free hugs doesn't say like, hey, you have to be like into lucid dreaming in order to talk to me. The free hugs is, hey, I'm a human. I'm opening my heart. Let's meet in the middle. And then everyone's going to be able to meet there because everyone has a heart and everyone's human, regardless of what their beliefs are coming into that space. So very powerful idea. Okay, let's keep moving along, passing that talking stick. We're creating good momentum here, creating waves. So thank you again, everyone, for being a part of this. All right, next person who wants to be able to go, passing the talking stick to you, please unmute your microphone right now. And that will be your way of like waving your spirit fingers. And then I'll pass the talking stick over to you. So Summer. Okay, perfect. All right, so Summer, give me 2 seconds here. I'm just going to pull up your microphone. And Summer, can you hear me okay? Or I just want to make sure I can hear you. Okay. Okay, cool.
Can you hear me?
Yes. I'm just going to pull your microphone down just for a second because there's a bit of the echo. But again, Summer, thank you so much for being here. And we'll pass the talking stick over to you. And I know Summer's been really involved with the Discord server and she's been holding space and kicking butt. So Summer, thank you so much. So passing the talking stick over to you, what does being a shifter mean to you? And what are some of the ways that you're helping shift consciousness? Go ahead. What are some of the ways that you're helping shift consciousness? Go ahead.
Well, I think that I've been a shifter all my life, basically, because I came into this existence knowing that it needed to be something different. So I came into the existence understanding that we all need to change. And so my children have been a part of this change and helping me. I mean, even when I've backslid and not wanted to come into my place of being of a true love light and shedding light of truth and love, coming from a place of truth in love, is shifting higher consciousness to a vibration of love, of being higher and helpful and caring and compassionate. A universal love is what we need to come to together for all of us, because otherwise we're not able to come to a place of non-judgment where we're able to reach out as one community as a whole throughout the whole entire world. So I've just been traversing this lifetime multiple times here in multiple different dimensions as we do in each moment going on. So I take information in and I just put it forth out there with the knowing that what I'm going to say is true because it's coming from a place of love, coming from my heart. I care enough to share this with you. So if I was to say it from a place of judgment, that's not the right vibration that everyone needs to hear. So if you want something, if someone is wanting something, you're not coming from the place of love, of giving. You have to give to receive. So you have to know that you're able to manifest your own destiny every day, even though you're struggling. So I think being a part of this group here with Discord has enabled me, per se, to come out of my own self-judgment of, oh, you've been through so much crap. Maybe you shouldn't be talking like you know what you're talking about. But then again, when you know that you know that you know, you just know. So when you know that there's truths out there that are wrong, some things need to be straightened out. We need to come to an agreement of a whole community of love lights. Because we're all different vibrations here. So we all just have different perspectives on the same whole. Each religion is a different perspective of the same whole love, the whole light shining source within us. So as we bring that together, then we're able to reflect that onto another. So throughout my life, I've just been in different situations that seem very struggling and hard. But if you look at them from a different perspective, you're there to help change those people like even spending time in jail. You're there to help those people. So when you're stuck in a situation that you think is not going to be anything good, then that's what you're going to bring about it. But if you're in a situation in a community where you can work together and bring about better things and focus on those good things, that's what we should do. But we still need to open up our truth and shed the light on those things that are bad that still need to be changed. So that's what I do throughout my whole entire existence. Is just someone called me a truth speaker. So I shine my love light on everything and just bring it how it is. And some people take it a little too intense, but that's just what it is. And I think that's what everybody needs to do, is bring awareness so that we can shift to this higher consciousness, so we can all come together and hug each other and love each other. And man, I go out giving free hugs all the time. I don't need to sign. I would have people at work who would line up for hugs from Summer. And I'd have to warn them, now this is going to be a 17-second hug. Can you count to 17 seconds and hug somebody? Some people can't. My mom can't. She cannot stand to have contact for more than 10 seconds of that nature at all. And some people can't. It's too intense. But you still have to be able to be that light and shine that truth of who you are, no matter what. Don't let anybody judge you.
True. Summer, thank you so much. That's awesome. You do a great job of just speaking from your heart, and I know that you talk about that a lot. Where you're just like, all right, like here it comes. I don't even know what it might be, but here it comes, and there it is. So awesome. And I know you've been doing some like oracle card readings here and there within the team chat and on some of the broadcasts and stuff. So I don't know if there's anything more you want to mention about that, but go ahead.
I have my Instagram, and I haven't really put any oracle cards out there too much, but I do that, and I do tarot cards, but I don't own any at the moment. I find that I'm an energy healer and able to tap into people's energy waves and help them heal just through communication, and not even just communication, maybe just knowing what the issue is and then sending my vibes out there. Just recently, I helped heal somebody's dog who had a traumatic experience and was shaking. I mean, like visibly shaking for days. And so I just did a little healing session with them and did like a type of vibrational healing with him. So I do that, and I'm willing to trade that for whatever, anybody's willing to donate. And my Instagram is Summer Dawn 2010, which is the year that I came to my realization that I really needed to come into who I was. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, Summer, thank you again for being here and for rocking it and for having such an awesome name. That's a sorry, say.
I mean, Mystic Spider-Man, you have superpowers, man, and we thank you for holding the space for us and just being here for us to connect. You are a great catalyst. We love you. Thank you.
Well received. Thank you, Summer. Awesome. Sweet. All right. Well, we'll keep passing it around. And again, for people who are just like, be like, wow, like I want to connect with that person, make sure that you jump into the Discord chat. And then in there, you can just be like, hey, like, who here is that person that was on the broadcast? And someone will link you to them. And it's pretty straightforward. So again, if you haven't joined the team Discord chat, be sure to join. Link is in the YouTube info, tinyurl.com/paradigm shift chat. And if for some reason it's not working, whatever, just leave a comment in the YouTube afterwards and we'll get you synced up. Don't worry. And yeah, with that said, we'll keep moving forward, and yeah, that's fine. I'm really grateful with just like everything that's being shared and everything, so we'll keep moving forward. All right, who would like to go next? If Justin would like to go next, and let me just bring up Justin's microphone. And Justin, it looks like your microphone's good. Can you just do a sound check real quick?
Testing.
Yes, okay, it's coming loud and clear. Awesome, man. Sweet. Well, Justin, thank you for being here, brother. And you've been connected to the project for several weeks now, and you've really been rocking it in the team Discord chat, really taking some active leadership there, and really just grateful to have you on the team, man. Thank you so much for being here. And so again, passing the talking stick over to you. What does being a shifter mean to you, and what are some of the ways that you're helping shift consciousness? Go ahead, dude.
So namaste and like catch, I like came to my family. A shifter to me is being the light to this world, that shines in the darkness, just showing love to everybody, understanding that everybody is just an extension of ourselves. And I create conscious media on Instagram. It's about being part of a community. We're all love, man. We're all love. We're all one. So I am love. You are love. We are all love. We are all one. That is my message to all humanity. And so what I've been doing, I go out there and I have a sign. It says be love, because you have to choose to be love, just like you have to choose everything else in this place. But I'm learning the game. I've learned the game. I have figured it out. For me, I realize that to me, in my world, everything is a game that we're playing. And so I figured that out. And so now I know how to play. And it's a beautiful thing, man. I'm elevating my fellow brothers and sisters, my soul family. Shout out to everybody out there. You guys have become something I can't even put into words, all of you. This community, Skull Babylon, Mystic Spider-Man, and Wolf Shield, all y'all. Much gratitude to you, man. And I just love people, man. I love everybody. And it's just really exciting. And I wanted you guys to feel something. Check this out. You guys are all going to feel this energy right now. Watch. You feel that?
For those who aren't watching on YouTube, he's literally just smiling right now. And it's like a really, really good smile too. That's a superpower, dude.
Yeah, do you feel it? Yeah, I know you feel it, bro.
Yeah, man.
It just makes you smile, bro. That's the whole point. It makes you smile and laugh. And if that's what it's doing, then you felt it.
Yes.
It's just simple stuff like that, man.
Simple and powerful,
yeah. Yeah.
We forget how powerful our smiles are.
Yeah.
I was kind of talking about this. I don't know if it was in the Discord the other day, but I was kind of talking about the idea of like reflecting on how our souls are literally like these like crystallized symbols for the entire expression of our faces are crystallized symbols for the entire expression of our soul. So you can get like the entire encompassed momentum of a soul expressed in a single facial expression. And so if that facial expression is a smile, like imagine like what is really metaphysically being expressed like through a smile. Like that is like, it's like, you know, it's like that Care Bear stare. It's just like, so you can like, you can like hit someone across the street with that bad boy. So
it's true, man.
It's true,
you know, it's true. And you know, I got plenty of lip to smile too. So you know, when I was, it's really funny, man, because when I was, I know most of us have probably gotten bullied as kids. I know I did, from like first all the way to 8th grade. You know, they used to make fun of my lips because I grew into them. They were always this size. So you imagine like first grader with lips like this. And then like my ears used to stick out. And, you know, they used to pick on me and make fun of me because of those things. And it's just kind of funny, man, how life is and where it ends up taking. So it just made me think about that. Anyway, I'm being real good. I'm being very good, man, because I'm a talker, bro, and I could talk.
Oh yeah, man.
You ask anybody that knows me, bro, I could talk. But nah, man, I'm learning that less is more.
Yeah, crystallization. Word, man. Well,
man, I love you, bro, man. I can't wait until we all meet. Like,
yeah, buddy. Once
Can't wait, bro. I'm so excited about like meeting everybody face to face. And, you know, I was thinking about like, I don't know, man. You know, there's a lot of 420 stuff coming up next year, man. We should all do something. Just all, man, that would be great.
Yeah, well, I mean, for the
Yeah.
people in the States, you guys got that privilege of being able to go where you want without having to cross a border and stuff like that. So for everybody, again, within this project, part of what is being encouraged is for you guys to coordinate your own meetups and coordinate your community events, and that is unfolding as we get the team map and stuff. So I'm looking forward to hearing about that, and I know some people have already been meeting up through the project and everything like that. But yeah, there will come a time where, you know, I want to be able to like meet each and every one of you like face to face, like that is part of the intention by touring around or by having central, you know, festival or whatever we want to call it. So
Yeah, you know, I was just thinking about that because, you know, like my background is in like you know, public speaking, motivational speaking, counseling, you know, sales, marketing, networking, social media, all that stuff. And a lot of network marketing businesses, the really good ones, they have these seminars every year that they just hype
yeah,
the
like
people in those
summits.
groups about
Yeah.
for the whole year. And it's like this big, huge thing, and they rent out this big, huge space and lights and all kinds of stuff. But it's making me think about like we could orchestrate like an event that we all physically go to, you know what I mean, and pick a location, and we
rent out
have
a
like
hotel or something
that, you know, like a weekend, like a 3-day
hall
type of yeah, you know, that would be they're really cool, man. And like have it like full of just, you know, like people teaching what they know to everybody else, you know what I'm saying? Like that would be cool, man, like a conference type of deal.
Yeah, I'm totally down with that idea.
See each other.
The quantum seed is planted, so yeah, it will come in due time. Absolutely. So totally, man.
Yeah, we just spoke about it, so that means it already exists, right?
There we go. Sweet. I mean, again, you know, like as the project evolves, like my quantum seeds that I've been planting are the idea of being able to, you know, have like ongoing financial abundance for the community. So again, as that evolves, that's going to help like unlock like a lot of awesome potential. So I mean, again, you know, the work that we're doing here today, like you guys have already caught the gist of this, but everything that we're doing is part of like this longer vision. It's part of this bigger vision. So yeah, we are here right now, and it feels so fresh. It feels so fresh with where we are right now. But again, like where we are right now is a accumulation of like 10 years up to this point. So imagine where we'll be 10 years down the road, you know? So we still got like a lot of work to do. And again, you know, like even within that time, shifters, you know, they come and go. They within this project, there is no expectation. It is purely understood that every shifter will go where they need to, and that's kind of the beauty of this project, is that there's always that open door, so people can kind of, you know, go where they need to, and then they can come back and the community's still here and everything like that. So it'll be exciting to see, you know, how things evolve over a year, 5 years, 10 years. And yeah, I keep talking about being able to like get our own UFO and being able to like fly around and pick you guys up on the UFO, and we'll have parties on the UFO. I'm like half joking, but I'm 100% down for that idea.
Dude, like that, yo, man, like, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before that, because I'm kind of like, I've kind of lost concept of time. And I realized that time really doesn't exist unless you pay attention to it. And since like I'm a stay-at-home father, I don't really pay attention to time. So it doesn't really exist to me. So I don't know how long ago it was, but I wrote about it in the main chat group that I went into the future, dude, and I saw all of us and like everything. I saw everything, and everything that you're saying, it already happened, man. And so like, I seriously feel like my like higher future version of myself came back into my body and then started writing what I wrote in the chat, because I went back and I read that and I was like, whoa. I was like, that wasn't me. You know what I mean? Now, some of you that have spoken to me know that I'm a channeler of sorts, and these things happen sometimes, and I'm not really like always aware of it when it does. But I do know this, that we are all famous in the future, and that Paradigm Shift Central is like the most popular full immersion interactive gaming experience that has ever been created. The platform that you have created here, brother, it becomes like far like the number one like thing, and like everybody's trying to get in, and like they're not able to, because it all has to do with belief, and by your level of belief, it determines where you can go and what levels of access that you are able to get to in the game, because you have to believe that these things exist in order to play. And it's amazing, brother. Like, we're all like, everything that you talk about, like, you foresee it, like at the space, like ship, like we already did that, like it already happened. And so like the fact that you're thinking about it is because you're seeing glimpses of things that haven't even happened yet, man.
Where, dude?
Yes.
One day at a time.
Go back and look on that. Check it out, man.
I'll do that.
It's wild.
Sweet, dude. Awesome, man. Well, let's get back to this in the Discord chat, and we'll pass the talking stick around for now. And again, man, I really appreciate you holding space. You're again just awesome to have you on board. So there it is again. All right. Any last words for the moment? That's.
What'd you say?
Any last words for the moment before we pass the talking stick?
Any last words
for this moment?
No, man. I mean,
just gratitude.
Yahushua is the word, man. That's the word. Yahushua is the key code to access the Akashic records.
What's the word?
Is vibrational frequency of the word Yahushua.
Gotcha. Cool, dude.
Look it up.
Sweet, dude. Awesome. All right, Justin. Thank you again, man.
Yep.
Sweet. And so with that said, for everybody tuning in right now, I want you guys to take a quick guess as to what time it is in Eastern Standard Time Zone right now. Yes, that's right. It's 11:11. Wow, what are the odds? So here in Ontario, Canada. So again, I just want to be able to keep moving this forward. Before we do that, I want to be able to read some of the comments that were posted on the Instagram post. Again, for those of you not following me already, check out instagram.com/Mystic Spider-Man. Before we do that, actually, I just got to give another shout out to Amanda, who made a $4 donation on the super chat through the YouTube. So thank you, Amanda. And again, just within the project, we'll always go back to this, because this is, it's a team responsibility to be able to continuously create the funds to be able to support the project. And there's a few ways that you can do that. Single donations, the links are all in the YouTube, the PayPal with the monthly donations, purchasing items through the questitemshop.com, including the Light Guardian crystals, the shirts that we have, shift buttons. You can get a monthly shifter subscription, a monthly shifter booster kit, so you get a new shifter booster kit each month. That's like another awesome way to be able to support. And again, just like anything, like maybe there's like somebody out there who's listening one of these days who's just going to be like, here's $50,000, go change the world. So so again, I've always put out that intention of like, where's that conscious philanthropist who's going to see what we're doing and is just going to show up one day and just be like, I'm sponsoring you type thing, right? But it's kind of cool, because where we're going, I want to be able to be that conscious philanthropist that I didn't have when I started, so to speak, so that we can continue to support artists as they're getting started. And again, that's part of the vision of this, is that like, as money evolves within this project, it will unlock so many possibilities. We'll be able to provide it right into people to be able to support them with their projects. I even want to be able to like have literally just a clump of money set aside each month for people who need it. So for example, people within the community, if they're just like, hey guys, like, I really need to be able to get some groceries this week. Can I get $20 out of the community funds? And we would basically just have that option to be able to make that accessible. And again, that same concept is literally already a reality within my existence, because as I'm going around downtown and things like that, I'm always like giving money to homeless people here and there and contributing those ways in the same way many of us are, which again is another like act of compassion in itself. But yeah, just kind of planting that seed that again, like as the funds raised for the project, there's so many different possibilities that we'll be able to unlock, including the idea for being able to have like our own spaceship, our own conference, our own festival, just being able to create like unlimited shift buttons for everyone. one, all sorts of good stuff. And so again, if you're looking to be able to get your Light Guardian crystal, you can check it out at questitemshop.com or at the Patreon, patreon.com/Brendon Culliton. And just a little info with the Patreon, because I'll just give you guys like a quick piece on that, and then I'll do the Instagram reads, and then from there we'll pass the talk and stick around. With the Patreon, you'll notice that like there's challenges with the Patreon, believe me, but it's a very particular method that we've created in such a way that creates it so that it's accessible. It does take work, but it builds over time. You'll notice with the Patreon that it does fluctuate over time. Right now it's at 157 active donators with about 886 monthly active donations. Over the course that we started the Patreon, which was back at the end of 2015, we have actually had over 400 people sign up for the team Patreon. Though realistically, some of those people leave for various reasons, which is totally cool and understandable. Some people aren't actively donating, which again is totally understandable. It's very flexible in that sense. But at the same time, we keep building it up and up and up. And so part of what we're doing is each month is that we're working on getting at least like 20 or 30 or 40 new people signed up for the Patreon. But at the same time, that also includes the production of the Paradigm Shifter, the Shifter Booster Kits, the Light Guardian Crystals, which I all hand make, and of course the free hug signs and the investments in that. So every time that we're like bringing the team Patreon up, it is an investment of additional funds as well. So for example, right now there, and like just being raw and honest with you guys, there's still a bunch of Shifter Booster Kits that I have to completely finish packaging up and being able to mail out. And then there's about $600 worth of shipping involved with being able to send those out. But again, we do it in such a way that people don't have to pay for their own shipping so that it's accessible, and they're already contributing as a monthly micro donation, which is a very, very powerful idea. And again, it helps get the tools to people who might not be able to afford like a single lump sum purchase. But with that, it creates like this model where it involves the initial investment of us being able to invest in the shipping costs as well. And so part of with the team Patreon is that like even like a couple months ago, it was at like 930, and then it kind of dropped down, and then it went up, and then it kind of went back and forth. But we want to keep on bringing it up. So eventually it will get to the point where again, we're making like 1,500, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 a month. 10,000 a month is the quantum seed that I've been really aiming for. And again, there's also additional funds that will be generated through there. But again, that's all just a form of, you know, spiritual entrepreneurship, spiritual commerce. But it's when it's done in a place of good intention, it's a very powerful idea. And again, it's a one step at a time, slow and steady, but hang tight, because you know there's a lot of work still to do. And I'm just super grateful for everyone for your patience with this project, especially if you're waiting on your Shifter Booster Kit. And yeah, I'm just excited to be able to continue to really bring up that team Patreon, because it's going to be going up in the next couple months. It's going to be going up a lot because we're getting everything like kind of like set up. I haven't been focusing on it as much this month just because I've been working more on the back end, but stay tuned for that because it's going to be going up. So yeah, just want to mention that. Okay, the comments on the Instagram, where I posted the post earlier today, where I literally invited people in 3 sentences or less, explain what being a shifter means to you. So here's some of the comments that I'm going to read real quick. And here's my comment that I wrote. For me, being a shifter means devoting yourself to a bigger story that began many eons ago. It means planting seeds that make a difference. It means connecting with other amazing souls and inspiring and working together as a team and being beacons for the shift. Light Guardians. Awesome. Curtis, the tailor-made, says positive change, connect. Amanda says, assisting in the transition from the mainstream way of thinking and operating. The shift can be painful or confusing at times, and connecting with others that understand is paramount. I'm like a flight attendant on the Paradigm Shift ship. Coffee, tea, tarot, hug, let's get shifty. That's what Amanda says. And Amanda's literally just the one who donated. So thank you, Amanda. And Anders says, expressing authenticity and being true to oneself through actions to help others understand the shift. Awesome. Thank you, Anders. Are Not Moi says, highlighting truth with love and compassion. Peace Monkey says, and I think Peace Monkey might be tuned in right now, actually. Peace Monkey says, constantly learning, living in compassion, and listening, holding space for others without attachment. Awesome. Thank you, Peace Monkey. Avalokits Julio says, a shifter is an individual who constantly shifts. Yes. Seth Geist says, light equals information. Dark equals dis/misinformation or not information at all. The absence of information as it is. So a shifter is a light worker. And again, a light worker is, going back to the idea of the many different terms and everything like that, light worker is another term that you can use for being a shifter. And again, we prefer the term, we choose to use the term light guardian. Of course, you can use the term light worker if it resonates with you, but light guardian is a very specific energy pattern that we carry within this project. And Joey Kraken says, traversing space-time in order to ensure the passage of all souls into the source of all creation. Yeah, very powerful idea there. So Taro Reiki Mama says, someone who is able to move or assist someone else in moving the energy in their life. A shifter can be light or dark, but it's how the individual chooses to use their gifts. Awesome. Thank you, Terra Mama. 369 One Reality Two Minds says, transmuting this reality into a tool of freedom and exploration of self. Awesome. Angel Psychic says, fulfilling a life purpose. That is a very powerful idea. So again, you know, I love that idea, and we were kind of talking about this already, that Summer was talking about this. She's like, I think I've been a shifter my entire life. And I really want people to be able to resonate with that idea that, you know, many of us have already been a shifter. We just didn't have a name for it. But being able to have a name for it is a very powerful thing, because it creates, it helps establish a sense of identity, and it moves it into a place of being, again, a part of a team as well. So it's like, yes, I am one shifter amongst many. I know that at any given moment, all of these other shifters are like out there doing their thing and working on themselves. And so I can feel the love of that. So reading a few more here, there's just a couple, and then we'll get right back into passing the talking stick around the chat, and then we'll get pretty close to wrapping this up. Z for Zero, or Astral 25 says, or no, I gotta go up a bit here. Retools says, love. This world is broken and doesn't know how to love anymore. It means to spread love with no questions or a return, just because. Awesome. I love that. Chuck Duckworthy says, it defines me low key. I like that. Astral 25 says, when you see there's a left and right path, but you choose the middle. Awesome. See, again, I love that so many people, even within the chat, who may not even be, you know, regular listeners on this broadcast, are already resonating with the idea. Because again, the shifter, the light guardian, is also about the idea of, yes, as I said, the gray Jedi, the balance. We are the ones who try to bring the balance into this by understanding that there is the light, there's the shadow work, but it is understanding the wholeness in the middle. And again, you can see that within this world right now. There's like so much chaos. So what does it need? It needs compassion to help bring it back into balance. Z for Zyra says, I work in an aged care facility. I got into this line of work by following divine alignment. My job not only includes practical nursing skills, it involves being a friend to my residents and giving out plenty of kind words, forehead kisses, and lots of cuddles. Awesome. So you can see Z for Zyra getting very, very practical about just the fact that that is an everyday thing for her. Shifting the vibration through love, they say. Kevion Devonti says, being me. There we go. Astral Psycho says, to shift the elements of our world through conscious awareness, physically driven and emotionally fueled, like an alchemist with various magic arts rearranging reality. I love that. I love that. And again, they're picking up on the idea of the alchemists transmutating, the alchemical transformation led to gold, of transforming society, waking it up from the lead to gold. So Betwix says, transmute, transcend, transform. Words, but use your imagination. Love. So awesome. So there's 125 likes on that post on Instagram, and again, that's at Mystic Spider-Man. Thank you so much, everyone, for adding their contributions there, and it's always an awesome way to be able to connect with everyone. And yeah, again, just make sure you're connected to me on Instagram, because I usually post like daily regular content through there, and it's a great place to be able to help share the shift. One other thing I'll just mention real quick, for those of you on Instagram, you can start doing this now. This is a call to action. This is a little shift mission for you. If you're involved with the Paradigm Shift Central project and you want to start, like getting more people aware of it and everything like that, soon enough, you'll be able to put the main ParadigmShiftCentral.com link into your bio if you choose, I just got to do a few more updates on it. If you choose, what you can do immediately is also to begin using the hashtag ways of the shifter. That is one of the hashtags that we use. We use two hashtags primarily. One would be hashtag paradigm shift central. You can use that one. The other one, ways of the shifter, WAY, ways S of the shifter. So I originally, we've been using that one for a while. I've been using that for one for a while. I kind of checked. I'm like, oh, could we do like hashtag I am a shifter? Somebody else is already using that one for a completely separate project, which is still about some cool stuff. But again, ways of the shifter is one that I've been using for quite a while. So you guys are welcome to use that. And over time, what we'll do is we'll start using the automation from that hashtag to be able to create a central feed so that you guys are posting your posts and other people will be able to see them through the central website simply because of the hashtag associated with it. And also, if I'm using the hashtag in my stories, I'll be doing that more in the future through Instagram. I'll really be using my Instagram stories to help be featuring your guys' content by, you know, sharing posts and linking back into the main website and all the things there. But if I put in my story hashtag, you know, if I tell people check this link for hashtag ways of the shifter and you got some of your content in there, then you can check it out too. So of course, make sure that it's content that you feel relates to the context of the Paradigm Shift Central project. So it's maybe a video of you talking about something that is related to consciousness or an idea, or it's a new video you have, or it could be, again, you doing like free hugs. It could be some shiftivism. It could be a synchronicity story, whatever makes sense for you. But feel free to begin utilizing that hashtag. So again, hashtag ways of the shifter and hashtag paradigm shift central, and you can check those out online already and you'll be able to see everything online. So let's keep moving around the talking stick so that we can wrap up this broadcast pretty soon. And then I'm looking forward to just like hanging out in the Discord with you guys as well before we call it a night. So we still have Donyo, Jenna, and Omega who have not said, who have not taken the talking stick yet. So if either of you guys want to go next, I think Donyo has his microphone unmuted. Donyo, did you want to go next?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. I'm glad I saw that. Okay, Donyo, thank you so much for being here. And yeah, Donyo, you've known about Paradigm Shift for quite a while, and recently you've gotten really involved with the team Discord chat. It's been a pleasure having you around. Really been enjoying the conversations and your contribution. So thank you again for being here, brother. And passing the talking stick over to you. Tell us a little bit, what does being a shifter mean to you, and what are some of the ways you're helping shift consciousness? Go right ahead, man.
Perfect. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I just want to say, Om Klim Atmane Namaha. You know, may the light of our soul shine on our own ignorance, and may we be blessed with illumination and enlightenment through the goddess's grace. Aho. Yeah. You know, I think that being a shifter is really being a white mage. Personally, I think that, you know, this is in this game, we got all kind of classes, and every class, because I like to play it like that, every class can have different kind of spells through different kind of categories. And I feel like shifters have a very unique set of white mage spells. Spells that help people move and transcend in the Tao, right? Shifters are really like transcenders, right? We transcend the yin and yang in whatever conscious experience that is in, and so that's what I think shifting is. I know that I've been in the game for a long time. I was like, you know, some people on this chat, Seven Bomar, others who were just kind of born into it. We were graced, we were lucky because we came here and we had teachers, and maybe our parents were our teachers. So we had some witchy uncles. Me personally, I had a Hindu uncle, and he taught me astrology. Some people had, you know, they had the aliens who were just like, yo, we'll teach you in the astral realm, right? So, you know, we're lucky that way, and I think it's important to recognize that, you know, that there's all types of spectrums. There's all types of lights in and being a shifter, and being a bodhisattva, and being a light worker, and being a light guardian. I love light guardian because I think that there is something very special to guarding the way, right? And it's all they call them Dharma protectors. And you make sure that the path is clear because you know that people will just keep walking it. So it's almost, you know what I mean? So there's definitely something to be a Dharma protector too, and a light guardian. And so I really appreciate that. And I think on a really vulnerable note, like today, for instance, right? I'm really vulnerable. I'm going through like a big deluge in my life. There's like a huge shift. All the planets. So I'm an astrologer. I'm a Vedic astrologer, and I'm practicing for about 25 years. And all the planets are hitting some like major houses that I have right now. So I'm at the grocery store, and this guy comes up to me, and he's a part of the National Reservation Society, and he's all or Preservation Society. He's all about preserving the forests. I'm up in here in Oregon, Portland, and they're trying to take money from people, and I say I have zero energy to give you, and I wish you all the best. And he was very upset. So he comes closer and he penetrates his energy into my fields. And he says, "What do you mean by you don't have energy?" and he was running this program of kind of like, I hate these yuppies at this Whole Food, and I hate these like normal people who don't care about the forest. And I immediately was psychically connected to him, partly because he was sort of forcing his energy on me, and obviously because I love him, right? And so I feel like even in vulnerable states, we're doing it. The world calls us to be healers, and even in the lazy healer state that I was, I simply said to him, I was like, pretend that you're speaking to a monk or a homeless man. Would I have anything to give you? And I immediately stumped them, and I was just praying for them and praying for them. And I feel like even in the vulnerable moments, we can be light workers, and we can be shifters. So that's what I feel like a shifter is, just on a grounded level. You know what I mean? Just like living life. And I think we can do the spells, and we can do the alchemy, and we can take those shift buttons and put in like chi and like raw, primal energy into the shift buttons, and literally just place them somewhere and have them like radiate love and light from like 1,000 miles. There's you. And I think that the biggest thing, I think that the thing about being a shifter right now in this community versus just being a light worker, especially, earlier, some of us 2011, 2010 babies, is that now we get to work together. And we've always wanted to work together. And so now we actually get to work together, and we get to like share the journey and the information and the wisdom that we've learned. And I feel like when we can find more and more like common ground and common language to really like transfer data and transfer information and like that energy between each other, oh my God, right? It's just blasting off from here. So that's all I got to say. Thank you very much.
Awesome, man. That was a blast just listening to you, dude. Thank you so much. I love your energy, man. And yeah, and I didn't mention this yet, and you might even be able to give even more information on this, but I know right now Mercury has moved into Sagittarius, which is like a really great time with where we are right now to like really be able to like step into like have like breakthroughs, and to step into being able to really launch some of our projects and launch some of our visions. And again, with the whole idea of like Jupiter being in Sagittarius, now is a great time for us to be able to get out our messages of higher conscious ideas, of philosophical insights. So the stars are very much in our favor, as they always are, which was a tongue-in-cheek post that I put up in Instagram the other day. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was like, may the stars forever be in your favor. Oh wait, they already are. They always are. So, but right now, as we've kind of done a lot of the groundwork, we're really getting ready to be able to blast off into some epic potential. And I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that within the project. I'm feeling that within the community. I'm feeling that individually. Because again, that's one of the beautiful things about the community, is when we're on that level, when we're all kind of tapped into the idea of like, okay, we're simultaneously going through cosmic lessons, and it's really beautiful when people show up and they're just like, hey, this is what I'm going through, and someone else is like, whoa, like that's very, that's an interesting mirror to what I'm going through. And then if they can talk about it, then it's like, hey, now we can see it better, and now we're able to navigate it better,
Right.
and maybe we can spend less downtime. And I think that's the power of community, is that it allows us to optimize our uptime. It allows us to kind of like shift through those periods where before, we might get into a lull, and it would be common where we might stay there for like several weeks. Whereas like if you have community and you have people who are on that path of self-mastery and who are being open and vulnerable and open to the healing and everything like that, and it kind of shifts us through those like funk states where simply, one conversation can totally shift someone's mood, where they can just be like, okay, wow, I'm feeling better about this. And then it changes your outlook, it changes the way you see things.
Absolutely.
And it changes, like, again, you were kind of saying this, being a shifter can often sometimes just mean being able to be mindful of your own actions in any given moment. So basically, this was kind of like, I'm sure many of us went through this shift where we kind of, began shifting from unconscious behavior to intentional behavior to mindful behavior. So whereas before something would happen and it would trigger us and be like, oh, like I'm all flustered and or you might say something spontaneous. Now we kind of like get into that place of just like being like, oh, like how does this feel? And how should I react, opposed to how might I, like, that animal instinct in me kind of react. So again, it's kind of shifting us through that sovereignty, but it gives us that mindfulness to be able to make the wiser decisions in any moment as well, which again can kind of help us dodge like unnecessary like circumstances, and also help create more bountiful experiences overall. But going back to the astrology and stuff like that, dude, do you have insight on that, the whole like Mercury and Jupiter, Mercury and Sag and Jupiter and Sag?
Yeah, your intuition was super spot on. Basically, with Mercury going in the Sagittarius right now, we actually are in a spot from right now to March. We're in a like a ramp up period, right? This is like the motion, the energy, the motor just started. And the thing is that right now we're shooting our arrows in the dark, okay? Because there's a lot of Scorpio energy, there's a lot of darkness, and there's a lot of light in Scorpio right now, with the sun between Scorpio and Sagittarius, and we're seeing tons of people. It's funny that I think you mentioned it earlier. We're seeing tons of people who are actually like coming to all these cults. See, the thing is, 2018 was the year of cults, and 2019 is the year of the dream manifestation. So we're seeing tons of people right now, and they're like, oh my God, church this, church that, the old ways are gone, what's new? And now we got all these people now who are spouting this or that language and this or that, kind of like spiritual path. And so what we'll see from now to March is that all of our dreams and all of our aspirations, we may not know exactly where we're going, we may not have exact clarity, but we're going to feel that fire and that energy to just like have a one-pointed focus and start manifesting. Like that's what you're doing with this community. That's what a lot of people are doing with like the their content management and their content creation. And then next year, the light, like all the planets start going from Sagittarius to Capricorn to Aquarius, and we're gonna see like everything, that all the seeds that you're planting right now, you're actually gonna have clarity. You're gonna be like a mastermind, like the CSI kind of like, they got the FBI board, like, okay, this point and this point and this point, everything's gonna connect that way. Yeah. And that's what's up, dude. I'm telling you, 2019 is a big year. So anyway, we're in something called a 12-12 ascension gate right now. And it's all about the new dimension being clear, right? So that's where we're going, and that's where we're at. So right now we're in a pre-phase. Absolutely.
Word, man. Word. Sweet. Awesome. And again, one of the beautiful things about having us as a team is the idea of like this this information, we can have it more accessibly, whereas like, you know, before everyone might just be kind of like scrambling to find an article about astrology, or, you know, go into that one YouTuber and stuff like that, whereas we as a team, you know, it's great for us to just be able to jump in the Discord chat and just like do a little astrology check-in, and we even got our astrology discussion chat where we're keeping up to speed with this. So it's really cool. I've really been reflecting on this idea of how the Discord is really kind of bringing forth this hive mind, and this like this, what was the term I was using before? I was basically saying like single organism, but it was like a super organism was kind of the term that I was using, and it's really cool because we're feeling that, where it's like, okay, it's not just my ideas anymore. Like I'm incorporating like other people's wisdom, and it's like, oh, it's really, really beautiful. And again, like that's where the Discord has been a huge shift within the project, and it's still just a stepping stone for the technology that's still on the horizon as well, you know, and that's where we'll start like, you know, getting more ahead of that. But it's great just to be able to, for anybody who hasn't been sold on the Discord yet, it's basically just like telepathy with people on the team, and you can plug into it with your phone, and you can be like on the go walking your dog and be like talking to these people on the go, right? So it's a pretty amazing thing. You know, you can literally just be like, hey guys, like I'm doing free hugs right now, and I'm like, here's a picture of me doing free hugs, and people can see that right there in the moment, and then that might inspire someone else to do free hugs as well. Because again, you know, within this project, we're always encouraging people to share their stories, to share their content, not only for their own practice of creation, which levels themselves up within the game so that they become better creators, but also so the idea that their actions will inspire others. So that if, you know, like so-and-so is doing free hugs and they post a video of it, if they post a single photo of it, if they post documentation of it, then other people will be like, oh, sweet, I want to do free hugs too. And speaking of free hugs, and I'll pass it back to Donio in a second, I do want to be able to invite people to be able to do something, some act of shiftivism on December 21st. So December 21st being next Friday, it's on a Friday, which is pretty sweet. I want to be able to, you know, create a call to action right here, right now for every single shifter to be able to think of that date, to really even be able to reflect back on it. Do it as, you know, see that date as a celebration. Like that date for us is kind of, it's kind of like our New Year's or our Christmas or our something or other. But again, going back to the whole like 2012 thing, it's like, wow, look how far we've come. But it is a very powerful date, being with the solstice symbolically, and we make it powerful simply by showing up for it, by creating the story ourselves. And so using that date, I just want to be able to encourage people to get out there and to do something like free hugs, to do something like conscious sign holding, to go volunteer, to go like keep your intuition open, to be able to see how you can arrange something, or even to have like a paradigm shift meetup on that date. Like we'll be having a paradigm shift meetup on that date because it's always on Fridays as well. So yeah, I just wanted to be able to plant that seed, and we'll talk more about it within the Discord as well. But Donio, I want to be able to pass it back to you if there's any other thoughts you wanted to share, or just like message for all the other shifters out there as well. Go ahead, dude.
Yeah, I just, you know, we earlier we were talking about perception, and there was this great analogy that I got for perception, which was, you know, especially for people who are really into, you know, the quantum physics and, you know, the 5D and all these like dimensions. It was that we're almost kind of like flies on individual fly traps. And we're in a large room, and all we can really do is buzz our wings and feel the vibration of the other flies buzz. So we can feel vibration, and we can buzz our wings and create a vibration. And that's really what we're doing. And I like that analogy because it really talks to the energetic reality of our lives, and what we're trying to do with Qigong and activating our light body and activating our genetic body. And I think that really what it comes down.
Oh, hold on. Did we lose you there for a second? Sorry, 1 second, Donio. Go ahead, Donio. Try again.
Go
back about 20 seconds there.
A shifter. and being a shifter in community, it's kind of a lot of God is tools to our vibration, do it like how even with stuff like mood, hey, 100 beat, she can, I mean, all those in group meriting feel like.
What? Sorry, folks, got a little bit of a technical hiccup there. I think Donio's connection is just
communication and energy to further goodness. So, yeah, thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Awesome.
Much love.
Thank you, Donio. There was a little bit of a glitch there, so we kind of, all the messages kind of like came in at one wave there. But, dude, thank you again, man. Really appreciate you being here, and looking forward to hanging out in the voice chat as well. More.
Absolutely.
Awesome, man. For those I know there's some people watching the YouTube right now who are in the Discord. You guys are more than welcome to use the Discord voice chat right now while you're watching this broadcast, if you want. Like, you can if you want. So, sweet. Awesome. All right, we're getting close to wrapping up the broadcast. Again, I just want to be able to get a few more people with the talking stick to be able to share a little bit about what being a shifter means to them, and then from there we'll call it a night after that. So we do have Actualist, Jenna, and Omega, and Tashawn, who I believe is new, if I'm not mistaken. So if one of you wants to be able to go next, just unmute your microphone now, and I will do that. Jenna? Okay, I think we'll do Jenna first. All right, Jenna, let me just get your microphone pulled up here real quick. Give me 2 seconds. Jenna, just try saying something right now, Jenna. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Perfect. All right, Jenna, you are there. Cool. Jenna, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being a part of the project. You've really been rocking it over the past several weeks, being very active in the Discord. Again, helping hold space, lead by example. You've been in the Hangouts plenty of times. And yeah, just thank you so much for being a part of this beautiful team that we have. So Jenna, passing the talking stick over to you. What does being a shifter mean to you? And what are some of the ways you've been helping shift consciousness? Go ahead.
Yeah, so, honestly, I'm going to keep things real simple. I mean, as you guys know, I can talk for days on end, and I do. But, really, I think being a shifter is really just being that wayflower, really just walking in your energy, as we wake up. I think so many times we get so frustrated at those that are sleeping. Well, at least I can speak for myself. As you go through this shift, you come to realize like our face is always changing too. Those moments of awakening in us. And then those are moments where we're trapped in the game, and even if we know what we know, it's really just walking in the path, shining your energy, shining your light, knowing that not everyone that you conversate with is going to understand. They're not going to know. They're not going to understand the illusion, but still being able to come to their level and reason with them and giving them the words, giving them the insights that they can understand, and that was something, I really had to learn through this process. Is I would go in and I would try to just teach, and I would be looked at like an alien because they're like, I don't know what you're talking about right now. You look absolutely batshit crazy, and really just bringing yourself to their understanding so that you can shift them up, so that you can awaken consciousness, so that you can just help that understanding, so that you can have that moment where whether they get it now or not, maybe like you said, a year from now, they'll call me and they're like, Jenna, you're into, the spiritual walk. You always talk about awakening and consciousness and this illusion. Like, I had this dream. You're the only person I can talk to that won't think I'm crazy. Like, let's talk about this, and then just being patient within that, just continuing to be unconditional love, continuing to shine your love, shine your light, shine your impact, like compassion on the world, and speaking when you can speak, and letting your silence and your energy teach when you can't speak. That really is what I believe it's about, shifting and, just promoting it through my social media, on my Instagram, and knowing that I'm not going to be able to hit everyone, you know, but maybe one day my post will register to people. And I think the number one thing is, you know, I wrote an Instagram post on this yesterday, is I think sometimes we come into this awakening, and again, I can only speak for myself, but, you know, I came into this awakening and I'm like, I know the answers. I am God. I have it all figured out. I get it. And sometimes it really is about humbling yourself and reminding yourself that, yeah, you may know it all, but it's knowing everything and knowing nothing at all at the same time. And, you know, my Instagram post yesterday was, for some strange reason, I really felt my Catholic roots. And a year ago, you know, I was so frowning upon the church. You know, I was so frowning upon the religion. And, you know, I just felt this big need to just pray out to my Catholic roots, even though I don't follow that anymore, and just realizing everything's true and everything's not true at the same time, and awakening yourself to other beliefs, you know, always staying open, always staying fluid, you know, being solid when you have to be, and liquid and free flowing and non-aggressive when need be. So, yeah.
Awesome. Very, very cool, Jenna. Yeah, I really resonate with that. The idea that, you know, the shifter will become whatever they need to be given the circumstance that they are in. You know, like a shifter can be thought of as a shapeshifter if you want to be able to think of it that way. We are water, we are the elements, we are malleable. And again, it's you said it, is that like every conversation that a shifter has is going to be different depending on who you're talking to, right? Like you could be talking to, like, you know, someone who may be brand new to this. You could be talking to someone who's like an elder who has lots of wisdom or anything like that. And so you're always learning. You're understanding that every person is a teacher. So being the shifter is, again, it's about stepping into that higher mindset of just being able to understand like how the universe is serving us in any given moment, and to be able to know that it's our role to show up as a student. So as you said, you know, we are always learning. And then again, as we shift ourselves, it is literally shifting the collective on that level. So Jenna, yeah, thank you again. And I really appreciate what you said there, and again, what you're doing. So super awesome.
Well, thank you. I love you guys, and I love this community. So
awesome. And Jenna, go ahead and mention what your Instagram is real quick.
It is, I believe it's Jenna Rose.
Say that again.
Yeah, Jenna Rose. Jenna Rose.
Jenna.
And
Jenna Rose. What's the last word? Jenna Rose.
Yep. And
3.
Jenna is with a G. Yep. So Jenna's with a G. So it's GENNA. So
Rose
it's Jenna
3.
Rose 3.
Cool. Awesome. And again, for anybody looking for more of the Instagram from team members, be sure to check out the Discord channel as well. So cool. Awesome. Jenna, is there anything else you would like to share?
Guys.
That's good.
Kisses. Mwah.
Lots of kisses. Awesome. Thank you, Jenna. Sweet. All right. So, yeah, again, one thing I was just going to mention real quick is going back to the idea of the shift buttons. I just really want to be able to hit this home for you guys. Again, the shift buttons, like they're not just, again, they're not just like conscious swag. Again, like a lot of people would just be like, oh, you're just like monopolizing off spiritual like swag or something like that. Like if you want to think of it that way, that's just a mirror. But again, the shift buttons are tools. Like these are literal tools. So like within the game of shifting consciousness as a shifter, like, yeah, I want you guys to be able to help support the project, and yeah, I want you guys to be able to have these so that you can use them. And again, you use them to give them away. You use them to spark conversation. And as Donio was saying, you can use them to literally just charge it up and leave it on a bench, leave it on a table so that somebody finds it, knowing that synchronicity kind of unfolds in that way. It's really, really powerful to think that you can leave a shift button somewhere, and then synchronicity somewhere is going to come across it, and they'll be like, oh, there's a little website on here. Oh, I'm gonna go check this out later tonight. And then they do, and then it connects them to the project, and then it opens them up to this whole new world, this brave new world in that sense. Little Huxley reference there. But yeah, again, the shift buttons are super powerful, and I just wanted to be able to remind you guys that as being a shifter, it's using whatever tools that we have. And so, yeah, it can be shift buttons, but it can also be anything. You could, and it's same with the free hug sign. Like, you can make your own free hug sign in the same way that you could make something that might be similar to a shift button, meaning you could create like little pieces of card, like little card stocks or little pieces of paper that just have little heartfelt messages on them. I've seen people do this before, where it's just a little message that says like, just like, you are beautiful, and then you leave it somewhere, or you create it as a little card and you give it to someone. You could give it to a stranger on a bus. Like, that's easily something you could do, where you're just like sitting on a bus and you might see this person sitting across from you, and they might just kind of like catch your eye for a second, and then you just kind of like, here, this is for you, friend, and you just give them a little card and it says like, you are loved, and they're just like, oh wow, right? Like, that's really appreciative, that's really beautiful. And again, like, that little thing creates like a ripple effect, and you never know how much that can change someone. And again, just the shift buttons work in the same way how the shirts work as well. Like, the shirts that we have through the website, they have like the flower of life on them, other sacred geometry, and also words underneath them. The free hugs shirts, those are meant to spark synchronicity. As you wear them, they become like actual gravitational fields to help bring people to you, to you know, eyeballs will look at them and things like that. And it's just again, it's just like, it's so powerful. So I just want to be able to remind you that those are available through the community. Again, check out questitemshop.com for any of those conscious tools that you want to be able to use within the game. And that's where, again, within the game, I really want you guys to be able to like play this game that I've been playing for years with that mindset, where you go downtown and you have your shift buttons with you, and you literally go out of your way to create meaningful interactions. You create it as like a mission, a shift mission for yourself, to give out like 10 shift buttons, and you go downtown and you're using your synchronicity, and you're practicing and you're playing and you're finding people to talk to, and you're just like walking up to strangers, or you're creating, or you're waiting for the situations to come to you, or maybe you're already doing free hugs. Like, any of these ideas are just amazing ways to be able to help spark synchronicity, to plant conscious seeds, to invite people back to the project. And again, and then if you share this, if you created a quest journal or a post about it on Instagram, and that's a beautiful thing. So again, for anybody who has the shift buttons already, please feel free to use the Ways of the Shifter hashtag to be able to share like you using your shift buttons, or you wearing your shift buttons as well. And then other people will see them and be like, whoa, like, those are cool, like, where do I get them? And then you can invite them back to the project. So again, you know, using the tools that are available, like, I have absolutely, like, all shame has been removed from the idea of being able to make physical items for us to be able to help use as tools, because the buttons continue to become more potent as the project continues to evolve, and you can think about it in that way. And we've also joked about this before, the buttons also have like a real world value to them, where you can use them as like bartering. You can trade with them. I've traded buttons for homemade jam before. I've done that, and I know shifters who have traded buttons for like a couch to sleep on, or like a sandwich that they needed while traveling. So you use the buttons to just be able to like create community, to be able to find friends, especially if you're building the physical paradigm shift community where you are. Using the buttons is such a powerful way to be able to create that impression where someone's just like, wow, this really, like, no one's given me a button before. Maybe a lot of people don't usually get free buttons, so they remember it and they're just like, oh, I'm gonna check this out, I want to be involved. So again, like, even a couple weeks ago when I was downtown doing my shiftivism, I was just walking around. I wasn't even doing free hugs. I was just walking around with my satchel, with my shift buttons across my satchel. And then I was doing there. And then one of the people that I met, like, he came into the Discord after we got the button, and then he came out to the next paradigm shift meeting. So again, you can do that too. Everything that we're doing within the project is like simple tactics applied effectively. So again, just putting that information out there just as a simple reminder. And shout out again to everybody in the chat. I love you guys so much, every single one of you. I'm so grateful to be able to know you, and yeah, soul family coming together. All right, let's get close to wrapping this up, and then I want to be able to jump in the Discord. And for anybody who, this is like a side note, we've kind of been playing some video games within the community Discord for the purpose of team building. So be sure to check out the Discord if you want to get involved with some like voice chat video gaming that we're doing as well on our like hours when we're not working and stuff like that. So, but it still works because it's like part of the team building. So let's move into passing the talking stick around. We still have Omega, and we have Tashawn, who again I believe is new. So Omega or Tashawn, if one of you guys wants to unmute your microphone, whoever wants to do that can talk next, and then we'll get close to wrapping it up. Okay, so Tashawn unmuted his microphone first, and let's just check in. Hey, is it Tashawn? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Awesome.
Light and love, people, Padawan.
Awesome. Tashawn, correct me if I'm wrong. Are you fairly new, or have you been connected previously?
For a few days.
Okay.
Summer's the one who was me.
Awesome. And are you already in the team Discord chat? Have you already been in there?
A few days.
Cool. And what's your username on the team Discord chat, just so I can connect the dots?
Golden Aura.
Cool. Awesome. Well, Tashawn, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the team. Welcome aboard. Welcome to the tribe. And yeah, even though you're new, I think obviously you've been able to absorb a lot of this information being shared. So inviting you to be able to hold the talking stick and share a little bit about what does being a shifter mean to you and some of the ways that you're helping shift consciousness. So welcome again, and go right ahead, man.
Light and love, how's your journey, by the way? Let's see. I would like to think of it as a way that you would carry yourself or traverse through the journey that's known as life, or the existential experience. I started this personal inward work of myself about 8 years ago. So, and it really started in my religious background. And I've always been a thinker and one who wants to, dissolve like these boundaries and these nuances of how life works, the mechanics of the universe and things like that. And it just came through this gradual evolution of where I'm at now. And it's more been for me about how you carry yourself, about how you're diving within yourself. And a lot of that's been like just self-healing, self-care, just a lot of traumatic events that I've experienced. And I'm just like, I would like to move beyond that and become something greater. And events like, relocating to Pacific Northwest and just trying to understand, bridging the gap between, the identity that I am and the individual, the soul, the spirit that I am. I've always been interested in how does it correlate with the world around me, just simple things like just shifting my ability to understand like the moment that I am, and just being grateful for things like that. And then individuals notice that and they'll say, hey, I noticed that you're different per se, and what do you have, or what are you involved in that I want to be involved in? And they're, and that's just, and I try not to bring any bias to it. So I will literally dive into situations or circumstances that are, that might be a little bit different than what I'm used to, and just bring my energy there. And individuals are very aware of that. And I think that's important for the, to carry that nuance with you, that, and not kind of like the idea of nurturing the bridge, the gap of like different communities, whether that's in a whole entire community in yourself, and just the way that you're presenting, these ideas, these concepts of what it is to be greater than what I am right now. And I think that's really beautiful, because you can become this ever-flowing, changing individual. So you're not just the physical self. You're dwelling in like the inward self. The personality, the spirit, the soul, and it's kind of an ebb and flow of all of that. And you're just sharing the best of who you are with others. So that's pretty much the catalyst of like of all of who I am, or what I'm trying to share with others. So the best of what I am, to illuminate that within themselves.
Yes.
So
awesome. I dig it, man. I totally feel it. And yeah, absolutely. Like I think that's so important. And just the idea of knowing that when we when we are on that quest to, you know, I've kind of talked about terms such as like becoming our golden self or activating our avatar, or again, it really just coming back to being balanced and self-mastery. Like, it's amazing to know how much of a difference we can make simply just by walking into a room and having that vibration. And again, it shifts from just being like an idea to something that is actually a way of life, that is something practical, and you carry that with you every day. And people see that, people feel that. And I think that's like the thing that is a common aspect between shifters is, you know, again, we all have kind of different styles, different classes. And again, some of us are like ninjas, some of us are, you know, very like roguelike, some of us are tanks, healers, mages, and everything. But there is the commonality where, you know, you have the potential to be someone who people might notice, maybe because you're not the norm, but in a good way, right? So you need to be that pattern interrupt just to be able to, you know, shift things up a little bit. So but yeah, Tashawn, thank you thank you for sharing, man. I really appreciate you being here. And is there anything else you would like to share in this moment while you still got the talking stick?
Yeah, I would like to say that I like to note that the shifter idea it's interesting. What you're doing is it's quite intriguing. So I just been hanging around, paying attention, and I would like to encourage other people, because that's what I do, I'm an encourager. In the time of event that we live in, you know, there's lots of space to manifest yourself in. So in the moments when you're discouraged or you're feeling down or weary, that's the moment to step into your power, because what's going on, there's like a conduit within yourself that allows you to shift, you know what I'm saying, and the within that energy, within that state. So whenever you feel like things might be bleak, whatever, it's the moment to assess yourself, and then you could grow from there, right? And that's where I discovered things like the golden robe, right? Which is kind of like the golden aura, right? You are placing your attention and your focus mentally, emotionally, spiritually, right, to become something other than what you are. And within that, you can literally become like anything you want to, anything you desire. So I just want to share that with you all.
Awesome. Thank you, Tashawn. And Tashawn, do you have are you using Instagram or anything like that currently?
I am on Facebook, which I really don't use that much. It's
okay.
just more like
okay, cool.
More like something where I say the show. But Instagram, I'm on that platform, and I am Wolfman X6. Excuse me, Wolfman X06.
Perfect. Awesome. Sweet, man. Thank you so much. And correct me if I'm wrong, did you message me earlier today, or was that another Wolfman that messaged me?
That was I.
That was you. Awesome, man. Connecting the dots. Thank you so much. And now we're here, so that's beautiful. Awesome. Sweet.
You're beautiful.
Likewise, man. Happy to have you here. So looking forward to it. All right. So with that said, we'll keep passing the talking stick around, and again, once we're through this, then we'll wrap it up, and we'll just do a very short like closing breath meditation, and then we'll call it a night, and then we'll all jump over to Team Discord and just like go crazy and, you know, have a wild dance party there and play video games for a little bit, and then fall asleep at 5 a.m. Oh god, not again. But before we do that, we still have Omega and we have Zamara. So if one of you want to go next, please feel free to unmute your microphone, and you can do that. I feel as if Omega is going to politely let Zamara go first, but Zamara is going to hold out for Omega to go first. Well, who's going to win this?
I like to.
Yeah. All right. I'll let you guys decide. Otherwise, we'll just be sitting here for the next 20 minutes. So who wants to go? Zamara, do you want to go first? Otherwise, you guys are just so...
I'm just hopping in.
I know,
so,
right?
I've been in and out all night. Oh my God,
that's not a problem.
I'll put me on the spot.
Well, yeah, but you're an expert at this, Zamara, so it's all good. So. Cool. Well, Zamara, are you okay if we pass the talking stick over to you? We're almost done anyway,
okay.
so. Sweet. Well, I'll just say real quick. So, Zamira, thank you so much for being here. And those of you who have been tuned in the past couple of weeks, you would have seen Zamira. And shout out to Zamira, because Zamira has actually really been doing some awesome conscious community work before she even got involved with this project. And we've been utilizing the team Discord to be able to encourage people to host their own live broadcasts. And so it's been really great, because Zamira has been leading in as an example in that. And she was already in the routine of doing these live broadcasts. And now she's been interviewing. She started interviewing people within the community. There's been a few broadcasts that she's done with Omega, with other people who have tuned in, like Justin, Yuga was already in it, Summer was already in it. I've been watching some of them and everything like that. So Zamira, thank you so much for already rocking on it. And I know me and you are already on like similar wavelengths in terms of utilizing technology to help accelerate the shift and bring us together as a community. So thank you so much, Zamira, for being here, and we'll pass the talking stick to you. And again, just the very simple concept of what does being a shifter mean to you, and you can tell us a little bit more about some of the ways that you're helping shift consciousness. So go ahead, Zamira, when you're ready.
Awesome. And again, thanks for having me here. It's really great to finally find a community where my work is being supported. And I don't think that's anything to say about other communities I've been a part of. Just, it's a matter of like right time, right place. So what does being a shifter mean to me? It really started after I had like my whole awakening. And I was very isolated, very alone. Aside from like people I was communicating with on the internet, I got to this space where I was like, well, what does any of this mean if I can't apply it or I can't use it in the real world? If I'm still alone, basically, it just everything seemed to kind of lose its shimmer a bit. And so then I just was like, okay, well, I'm just going to start putting myself out there. And I started going out more, just in general, and then meeting up with people from my past who, I really never would have thought I could have the courage to openly talk to them about some of the things that I'm experiencing now and have experienced. And I can recall one conversation in particular that I was, kind of talking about how everything needs to change, the world's waiting for a change. And the usual response is, well, people have been, exploiting each other for eons and eons. And I got this whole walk through history of that. And I was like, I understand your point of view, and I understand where you're coming from. And I guess I don't have really any way to prove this to you. But what I'm coming to find is that recognizing these things and changing my perspective with that is going to change the environment around us, and I started, that was like the first time I ever was able to say physically to somebody in person that, like, yeah, I do believe in the goodness of the human race, and that, to us, what looks like mass evil and corruption is most often pain and suffering. So that it's up to those of us who can recognize this going on in the world to change ourselves and then spread that to others. And it was actually well received. And so from there, I kind of just kept doing that. And then I started a YouTube channel, and at first it was so awkward. And so I think being a shifter really means being willing to go with those awkward transitionary phases. Being willing to like continue to put yourself out there, try again, if at first you don't succeed, keep trying. And meeting people like, Omega is somebody that really helped me get out of the mindset of like, this has to be some massive plan, like some grand scheme or grand design, and help me really simplify that all I wanted to do at its core was connect with others. And that's the other part of being a shifter is believing in that power of connection and communication. Sorry, I'm losing my voice a bit. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there, really, because I'm starting to lose my voice. I think I've been talking more than I ever have in 23 years.
Not a problem. Yeah, busy day for you today. 2 broadcasts one day. It's a lot of work. So awesome. Well, thank you, Zamira. If you can just use your voice for one more second, remind people what your YouTube channel is, and they can find it on the Discord too. But
it's called Cosmic Ascent. You can search up Cosmic Ascent, or you can just search Zamira Bennett, and it'll pop up.
Awesome. And is it?
And again, thank you so much.
Is it BENNET, 2 N's or 1 N?
2 N's and 2 T's.
2 N's and 2 T's. There you go. Perfect. Awesome. Glad I asked. Sweet. Well, Zamira, thank you again, and I'm looking forward to collaborating. And again, thank you for just like creating more space within the community for people to be able to connect. It's really, really appreciated. So.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Awesome. Go team. Sweet. All right, so we are almost at the end of the broadcast. Huge bonus points for everybody who's already like been in here. For those of you who've even been in here from the beginning. And again, I really like that idea, as Zamira was saying, that being a shifter means being vulnerable, being able to put yourself in unfamiliar situations. And again, this is so true, so encouraging, be it within our personal growth, be it with something like free hugs, right? Like, how many people are just gonna be like, oh yeah, I'll do free hugs, absolutely no problem, that shouldn't be anything I should think twice about? No, it's pretty common knowledge, pretty common sensation to think twice about doing free hugs, to be like, wait, whoa, hold on, like, let me, ooh, okay, this is intimidating. But then you put yourself in that situation of like moving through that discomfort, and you find it's incredibly opening and rewarding and amazing. Same with creating a physical paradigm shift community. You might be thinking, you're like, what? Like, I could never organize a community meetup event. Like, I could never do that because I've never done that. And then it's just like, or can I? And then it's just like, well, if Brendon can do it, if so-and-so can do it, if they can do it, if Alchemists of Flesh can do it, then, any of us can be able to do it. And that's the power of being a shifter, is that it's understanding that, we are all special, and yet no one needs to be more special or less special in order to be able to do what a shifter does. So it's again, it's just like the basics, but really like just kept with consistency equals like incredible opportunity. So again, another thing, just planting that seed, being a shifter, being, sharing your art, sharing your vision, sharing your voice, sharing your story. Never underestimate how powerful that is and how important that is right now, especially in today's day and age where authenticity is rare. Being authentic, being an artist, being a heartist is so powerful. So if you're literally just creating art, literally if maybe your thing is just like putting art out on your Instagram that you make and stuff like that, and it's heartfelt and raw and it's beautiful and it's psychedelic and it's visions of your dream world, keep doing that, because it is appreciated, it is felt, it is inspiring, and it is a part of the bigger shift. So again, we're all contributing to the shift in all of our different ways, and then we come together in Paradigm Shift Central, and then we celebrate it and we share it and we help amplify each other. So thank you, everyone. Awesome. All right, let's continue to move through this, and then we're almost on the broadcast. Yay! All right, Omega, you ready to? Yeah. Okay, cool. So Omega, thank you again for being here.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. And yeah, Omega, you've been rocking it as well for the past several weeks, tuning in with this broadcast. Thank you so much for being present. Thank you for being involved in the Discord chat, for helping out with Zamira and everything, for just showing your support. And yeah, man, passing the talking stick over to you. What does a shifter mean to you? And leading us home. We're almost done the broadcast, so bring us home, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, that term shifter was like when I get questions answered, I got 12 different versions, and then there's this ultimate point of everything, So I like to span off into the most simplest way that I can get people to understand where I come from, But shifting is something I've been doing for infinity, coming to this paradigm, even the place I chose to be born with, just the people that I was around. I could say, starting with my mom. I thought I was here to just to sort of learn from people. Well, you know, we're all here to sort of go through an experience, but I didn't know that I was supposed to be getting up to sort of show, lead, and you know, influence or you know, spark. I didn't know what it was all about. So, but the only reason I understood what I've understood what it is basically it's shifting is like a there are many words that I like to push towards that, and I would say like wholeness. A lot of people would say balance, and what I like to do is I make sure that you don't get left behind. Like when I'm talking about you, I'm talking to myself as a you know the dark part, the part that never gets usually gets swept under the rug or left behind, the child that's left in the galactic mall. You know, for the most part, it's like the individual that had no idea whatever was so deep and dark and mystified and never dealt with or particularly focused upon. That's the parts I usually stick. I stick with. I stem from a place of darkness, so in that sense, I understand how it works and why it's so important that we aren't just light workers, but you know, I'm a dark being in that sense, and I understand light comes from darkness. So I understood. I took the role that nobody would take for infinity. I have many recollections. I haven't started my YouTube or stories yet, but to actually simplify that, I go around people and I sit with their demons. I sit with their being. I sit with them and I actually absorb and learn what they want to do. And regardless of what their tune is, you know, I still can understand. I understand, like I really can observe and be in their place without even saying a word. And for the most part, the shifting happens when actually I just show them pretty much, you know. For the most part, it's like if you can remind somebody that you are them and they are you in the same sense, but like understand you're not there to put a proof on what they're doing, but like just sort of guide a sense in like it's like you're revealing a trail that was from them, you know, and you're just guiding it right back to them in the same your oldest friend that you haven't had contact with since you were a kid and tap into them within dreams to all the for people for 23 years just to understand what I was. I mean, that's shifting for one thing. I would say shifting is jumping from dimension to dimension, no matter what mental state anybody's in. Um, when I actually talk to people in a place or in person, it's more like I'm just reminding people to play them, and it's okay. When I'm around, it's a different tune. But if I leave, sometimes it's like when you come back, they're not back. They're sort of like detuned again, and that's so I like to show back up again. This is what I'm doing right now is by coming with you know the Instagram, the live feeds, the individuals. I've been jumping from every single group to group, just from you know from the standpoint of spiritual communities, conscious communities. People, you know, I've been in the roughest areas for the most part, and had the roughest life standpoint, living alone for the most part, and doing a lot of things on my own. So I've sort of been moving like a ninja, and I started understanding that's basically what I am, and I have a really conscious, open mind of you know a task that I wanted to complete. I wanted to create. I wanted to spark people to be themselves. Like that was my biggest thing, and I wanted people to start creating their being, you know, being themselves, but also writing the story, and then that's also playing it. So you got to be the architect and the dreamer at the same time, because I said when I the biggest thing that I felt was sort of misconcept was I couldn't find a person or a being that that would tell me something new or different when I said, "What do you want to be?" or "What do you want to do?" For officially, it's like you got certain ley lines. So I felt like that was a shift in consciousness when I would just listen and then actually articulate what they really meant versus the words that they were saying. That was something that I felt was really big, detrimental. I wasn't. I was literally sifting around trigger words, and I would leave nodes of energy. I would shift energy, literally, basically using my abilities. I'm an artist. I produce music, and then I also invent ideas. So, I put things together. But most importantly, I sort of connect points from people to person, peer to peer. I sort of transfer the lines. And that's what I do. I travel for the most part, and I just leave like trails. I leave trails along. This will be my first time actually coming to like online counterparts. Hello?
Yeah, you're still
Yeah,
good. Go ahead.
exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I've been doing. The shift it started way back when. I have many stories that recollect to how I'm able to even understand this is because the so-called bad things that many people depict as, I've done them. So on the same sense, I know exactly how to evolve from them. And this is why I can sit patiently.
Word, man. I love it. Awesome. Is there anything else in the moment that you want to share? I mean, that's
Oh,
good as it is. So
yeah, yeah. With the paradigm shift community is pretty dope because out of all the communities, most people have been able to just come together and just sort of assimilate, regardless, we're still in a process, whereas some of us have not really put our things together, but we're moving. Like that's the whole point. I'm trying to maintain myself to be patient enough for that, but I see it progressing. I see it moving. So
Word.
what do you have done is pretty dope. So
Awesome. Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm happy to have some amazing people helping take part with it. And yeah, it's a powerful thing when like-minded people come together. And that's kind of, Terrence McKenna was always talking about that. He's like, find the others, and then like that's where the solutions kind of reveal themselves through that. And I think the solutions are just in the inspiration that we get from each other, and the one-to-one conversations and the accountability that we develop. And yeah, no, it's amazing. Like, community, like that is what this world needs. And so what we are doing here on a micro scale, we are kind of, this is like a preview of the future, in a lot of ways. Like, this is what community can look like when it comes together. And so, this is kind of playing around with some powerful patterns that are going to be able to help create a blueprint for others to be able to see and to know what is possible. So yeah, thank you again, man, for being a part of it. Really appreciate your perspective and what you bring to it. And yeah, I know there's all of us got some like very powerful stories that have brought us to where we are now. And again, that is honored here within Paradigm Shift. The idea that we have like walked through our own darkness in order to be able to come out. But that's like any light guardian, that is an expected part of their path to not necessarily run from the darkness, but to be able to carry their light into the darkness, to be able to illuminate what is once hidden. So yeah, that's a conversation on the Discord for another time. So but
yeah,
cool, man. Anything else you want to share before we wrap up this broadcast?
I just lost it. So the only thing I will say is I think I think it's I think what we're really preparing for is ourselves. Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
Go
Okay.
for it.
You mentioned that this was like like a thing for, like, you see this like a beginning of the future, basically. I was like, yeah, out of all my traveling, I said this is a point that is happened, and I had to accept that I like to move at very fast speed. So, but this is something that I would see. Um, Predominantly, that's going to allow for transcendence. So this is a big a paramount moment. For the most part, what you have built with this is going to be like a more of a hub for individuals, to sift around and really grasp themselves.
Totally, man. And again, I think having that visual metaphor of seeing this as a kingdom is such a powerful idea. You know, people come and they go, but when they come through, they have a shared vision of what the place represents, and we come here. We show up at the round table to be able to share our perspectives, our stories, to offer our gifts, our lessons, our teachings. It's a powerful thing. Like we are all respected as like sovereign beings here, and with the knowing that it is through the uniqueness that each of us is that allows us to shift the paradigms in the ways that only we can as individuals. Like there are common ways in which we can shift paradigms, but every single shifter here has their own unique skill set, has their own unique vision, has their own unique story, which allows them to reach people that only they can reach. And that is why, again, you know, the purpose, the intention behind doing this broadcast is to further inspire people to be that shift, to carry that shift with them, to know that, again, it's like, it's the little things that are making the big difference. It's the everyday thing that is adding to this collective momentum. And just, again, that invitation for people to be a part of this co-created story that is being weaved as we speak, literally right here and now. And yeah, it's an exciting story that's been unfolding and continues to unfold. So cool, man. Awesome. Well, any last words, and then we'll close it off?
Yeah, I do have one tagline. It's like my slogan.
Yeah, taglines.
You versus yourself versus us. It's basically, will you go against yourself for us? That is what we're up against. Wholeness.
Right. Yeah. Seeing, like, yeah, literally that shift of the old paradigm into the new paradigm, where we realized that like the only thing in our own way was us. And so once we can kind of come into wholeness with ourselves, and we can get out of our own way and open up into the success that we are waiting to receive. So cool.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Awesome, man. Sweet. Well, dude, thank you again. Honored to be able to, you know, be mirrors for one another. Looking forward to continuing to connect and work together. So thank you, Omega. Sweet. All right, so with that said, we're gonna wrap up this broadcast. The only thing that I just want to be able to do is just huge thank you to everyone involved. I want to remind you that next week's broadcast coming up is actually going to be a paradigm shift dream class. So we do this where the first two broadcasts of every month are regular team roundtables that rotate through a specific topic, usually announced a couple days beforehand. And then the third week of each month is paradigm shift dream class, where we do a specific broadcast on the topic of dreaming, lucid dreaming, metaphysics, dimension, mindfulness, all that cool stuff. And the last week of every month is a paradigm shift destiny school, which is a very specific topic. Last month's was AI and future technologies. This month's is going to be on psychedelics. So if that's something you're interested in, then please feel free to join up for that. And again, join the team Discord chat to be able to sync up with the discussion there as well, where we do some research and share some notes and stuff ahead of time before going into the broadcast. And we also have a discussion in there for dreams as well, so you can get in there and get involved with the dream discussion. So again, reminding you to join the team Discord, tinyurl.com/paradigm shift chat. Link is in the YouTube info, as well as links for the team Patreon at patreon.com/Brendon Culliton. If you really enjoy what it is that we are creating here as a community, the value that we are putting out there, and you want to help contribute to that with a monthly micro donation, please feel free to be able to donate at the Patreon. And other than that, you can find me on Instagram at Mystic Spider-Man, at live.paradigmshiftcentral.com. You can find the MP3s as well as community videos and quest journals and conscious articles, which we'll be getting more into in the coming weeks as we do some evolution within the back end of the project. And other than that, Paradigm Shift Radio on iTunes. Did I just mention that? Maybe not. Paradigm Shift Radio on iTunes is where you can also find all the audio versions as well. So at this point, just huge love to everyone. Again, just encouraging you, inviting you, inspiring you to be the shift that you want to see. Know that you're a part of a global team. Know that you're a part of the shared momentum. Know that your actions make a difference. So keep living from your heart. Keep learning through your lessons. Keep going out there, being compassionate, doing free hugs, creating your paradigm shift communities, leading by example, helping others be who they want to be simply by seeing you be who you already are. So remembering and awakening to that seed that is within us. So I'll just invite everyone just to do a very gentle breath meditation, micro meditation. So just invite everyone to simply close their eyes, straighten up your spine, relax your shoulders, and relax your breath. Gentle inhales through the nose. And gentle exhales through the nose or the mouth. As you breathe into your heart, as you breathe into the space, just connect with the vision of all the other shifters across the world. Just feeling that thread, that connection between all of us. Feeling our breath as one breath. Feeling our heart as one heart. And within this moment of meditation, let you just sink into that sensation, as in synchronize with that sensation of that higher calling, that bigger story that you're a part of. Something that began long before and will continue long after. The ongoing story of bringing balance, of illuminating where there is darkness, of leading by example. So breathe into your heart. Take a moment here to send love out to all the other shifters. Just express gratitude in your hearts. All the other shifters here in this moment, just thank them literally within your heart, within your mind. See them for what they are doing. Even the ones who are still awakening, who might not even be connected with this project. Every single person who is out there helping change the world. And now in this moment, take this opportunity to turn that attention back to yourself as you give yourself permission to receive love from all the other shifters. So feel in your breath, feel in your heart the gratitude, the appreciation that we have for you, for your journey, that all of what you have gone through, nothing has happened by accident. Everything has helped make you stronger. Everything has been part of a bigger story, allowing you to hold a unique piece of the puzzle, a very powerful key that will unlock only doors that you can open. And so thank you for all that you've done, for all that you are, and for all that you continue to become. And so bring your awareness into your heart here. Just take one more breath here, and then we'll bring it to a conclusion. And as you slowly shift yourself back to your awareness, give yourself permission to be the best shifter you can be. Aho. Awesome. Thank you again so much, everyone, to all the shifters out there. The story continues through the love that we share, through the everyday action, through the stories, through the conscious media, through the connections on the Team Discord chat, and of course through future broadcasts. Of course, you can tune in for our global Sunday meditations on Sundays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Here, subscribe to youtube.com/SkullBabylon. So if you enjoyed this broadcast, please feel free to just leave some comments, smash that like button, let us know how you are, like what being a shifter means to you. If you weren't in the broadcast, absolutely, please feel free to do that. And thank you, just thank you for being here. You have not shown up here by accident, and I'm excited to continue to co-create together with you. So on behalf of all the shifters here, since all the other shifters left the chat, unless Jenna's still here, Jenna, do you want to make some noise and say goodnight to all the other shifters with me? If Jenna's still there, she might not be, but anyways, I'm going to make some noise and say goodnight to all the other shifters out there. So to all the other shifters out there, we love you. Awesome. All right, you guys keep it shifty, and as always, we will see you in the future. Peace and wholeness.